where the past still plays out there.
And the theme song is back. We didn't have it last week. We almost didn't have it this week. At the last second, I looked over and I was like, whoa, I got to put that up. So we did, and you got to hear it in all its glory. We've got me, Ron, Michael Canestrari. John Turnbull is still chasing turtles, right, Ron? Is that what you've been saying?
I believe he's moved on to the non-part in front of his vacation.
Oh,
yes.
I see. Yeah. And Dobreski, Pesky Pole, he had some sort of surgery or some procedure. As we get older, we start to use that phrase a lot. Yeah, I had a procedure. I had a thing. They did a thing, and they took a thing, and then they added a thing, and I lost 3 things, and and here we are. But I'm sure he'll be back, and he said everything went successfully, so that's good. So I hope you guys are really excited, because I am about to show off the very first, I don't want to call it extended look. I mean, it's 2.5 minutes long, but I went ahead and I started to edit, what will be our proof of concept reel. But really, in this case, what I did was, we have a lot of footage from the APBA convention from a couple weeks ago, and I'm finding it's actually more difficult to edit a documentary than it is a narrative film or a narrative TV show like we do with my show Thespian. Because with a narrative, you've got a script and there's an order that you follow. And, the choices that you're making are acting takes. Do you want the reverse? Do you want the close up? You get what's called your coverage of various shots, and then you put it all together. But it's basically linear. You start at the first scene and you work your way through it to the very end. Well, with a documentary, to some extent, you're putting it together. You're finding the story from the footage. So I've got 10 interviews, each of which is, I'm going to say 15 to maybe 25 minutes long. Then there's all the B-roll footage. I mean, I've got 8 dolly takes of, a dolly and I don't have that clip on the timeline yet, but, just basically just showing all the boxes of cards that sit in the APBA warehouse. We'll use that footage. And then you have to decide, and you don't start the documentary with the history of APBA, because, well, first of all, our documentary is not about the history of APBA. I mean, that would be included, but we know that the documentary we want to make is really going to start with footage of Ron. But for the purposes of putting together something, I had to find moments that supported those moments and B-roll. So anyway, here we go. The very first look, if this works. And you know what I forgot to do? And I'm such an idiot.
It worked in rehearsal.
We think it did, but until it goes out to outside of us, I'm not completely trusting the process. The one thing I forgot, I didn't add a title card at the beginning. So it's going to go right to John Herson talking. So I might have to back it up and start it again.
Open it, and it's heaven.
I'm going to back it up.
And you open it, and it's heaven. A ball diamond, a really cool ball diamond. Many people I know have taken theirs and framed them.
It's just a game that relates to the sport of baseball, and you really feel like you're part of the game when you're playing it. Hi, my name is John Aslan, and I've been playing APBA since 1981.
My name is Greg Wells, and I've been in the hobby since 1974.
My name is Gilles Thibault. I've been in this hobby for almost 50 years.
My name is Steve Scoff, and I've been in the sports simulation hobby since 1977.
My name is Skeet Carr. I've been playing APBA since 1958 and working for the company since 1964.
My name is John Herson. I've played APBA since 1962. My wife and I have owned the company since 2009.
So at an APBA convention, it's like a family reunion. We've known each other for a long time. There's a real social aspect to it. We play a lot of games. Yeah, all of us obviously love the hobby, so we love to play the games, whether it's football, baseball. The centerpiece is a big baseball tournament on Saturday.
What happens at an APBA convention is you get a bunch of people from all over the country that come together with a common hobby and a reason to speak with each other. And we may start the weekend talking about the game.
13, he strikes out.
but by the time the weekend is over, you know where these people are from, how they grew up, where they went to school, what they're all about as a person.
These boards are, each side is a base situation. Base is empty, and that's where people start to learn the numbers, because they roll them so often, and that's when you see where 13 is a strikeout, 14 is a walk, and when you see people refer to cards like it's got 2 1s, 2 5s, or whatever, if you're a hardcore player, you will know what it is. I mean, an APBA baseball card is like a short story of the entire season.
So we get to Perkins after picking up the cards, and you open up the box and you just get the smell of the new cards, the new card stock that they're on, and then you carefully pull the cards out and you look through the cards that you know you're going to draft later on that day, probably on the ride back. So it's just a whole experience, the sight, the smell, the feel that you get when you are so addicted to this game.
And there it is. Bring us all back here. I'll do it this way. So, what do you guys think? Michael?
That was great. Cool. Really cool. Like it.
Thanks. I'm pretty proud of it, you know. And I hope you guys out there watching, if you had a chance to catch it, you have some positive comments. But there's a lot of footage. I think I did a nice job of getting us right into the story, of explaining what oh, Turnbull's with us. Look at that, from the Galapagos. You know, kind of explaining what APBA is. You know, the guys that we interviewed, they were all really good, particularly John Asselon. You know, he's got a broadcasting background, so
You can tell.
he's a really good communicator. Greg, they all were in different ways. But you know, you look at that 2.5 minutes. That took me about 12 hours, maybe 14 hours of work just to do those 2.5 minutes. And that doesn't even include, you know, you got to take all the footage and you have to import it into the project. You know, that takes hours, but most of that hours is just you looking at your computer because you can't do anything while it's, you know, uploading. But then you have to sort it. You got to put it in, you know, there's work involved. And then, you know, you got to find the footage that you want to use. So you have to take kind of notes on all the interviews. Or actually, what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to get it transcribed by an AI program, which will give me everything like that. But yeah, I think it turned out well. I think it's a good start. I mean, I can look at that and I can find 50,000 things that still need to be fixed. You know, I did do some sound sweetening, which worked out really well. The AI today, the programs, the tools available within DaVinci Resolve, which is the program I use to do post-production, has these built-in tools. You know, there's a lot of background noise when we were shooting some of the stuff at the hotel. And there's still a little there because you want a little there. You don't want dead air, you know, but I was able to take it way down. And in the past, whenever you tried to remove noise, it would mess up the dialogue because you're just messing with frequencies and things. And it just, but now AI handles it, and it was a phenomenal tool. So there you have it. Excited to continue the process. And now I'm very excited to be joined by a great guest. Dave Cook had, and in fact, Dave Cook should be joining us later on the show. This man has been a beat writer for the Texas Rangers. He's written for the Fort Worth Star Telegram. He's written for MLB.com. He's written for Sporting News. 32 years covering the same team means he's gone through the good days, the bad days, the crazy days, the rough days, and he's going to tell us all about it right now. Please welcome TR Sullivan. Hey, TR, how are you?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're, you know, we love talking to guys who are in the hobby, but who also, you know, have lived the life of somebody deeply involved in sports, and nobody foots the bill better than you. And we've had Tim Kirchian on, but you know, you and him are probably similar in terms of your tenure, right? I would imagine.
He was a little ahead. He was a little ahead of me. He was on the Rangers in like 83 to 85.
Right.
And I got on, and then he went to Baltimore, and I got on the Rangers in 89. So he's a little older than me. has done a little longer than me, although he didn't do the newspaper as long as I did. He went to TV, which
Right.
for him, he's been very, very successful. And Tim, I've known Tim for a long time, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
So where are you from originally?
I'm a military brat. My dad was a colonel in the United States Army, 28 years. I was born in Seattle. I lived all across the country. I could, California, Hawaii, Virginia, Massachusetts, a lot of Alabama, a little bit of Texas, Oklahoma, on and on. I've been all around the country, and I was a military brat. And then when it came time to go to college, I went to the University of San Francisco for 4 years.
Will Chamberlain territory, right?
And,
Bill Russell.
Oh, Bill Russell. Right.
Yeah,
Bill Russell.
he was one of our best players 73 years ago. We haven't done much since then, but we can keep claiming on Bill Russell.
That's how good he is or was. Yeah, you can.
But being in the military, and Doug Melvin brought this up, the old Rangers general manager. I grew up on minor league baseball, so we lived in Hawaii for 3 years, and I watched the Hawaii Islanders back in I was in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. That would have been 68, 69, 70, 71 that year. Then I moved to California, Monterey Peninsula, watched the Salinas Packers for a few years, and then we moved back to Alabama, and I watched the Montgomery Rebels with Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell, and that bunch for a couple of years. So I grew up on minor league baseball.
Wow. And how did you end up finding your way to Fort Worth and a career as a journalist, as a sports writer?
Well, I went to University of San Francisco as a business major, and I was really bad at business major. But my sophomore year, I joined the school newspaper. It was a weekly paper. And just decided to walk in there and see, hey, do you need a sports writer? And they said, well, we need a sports editor. And they didn't have a sports editor. And I got the job as sports editor, and I did it for a couple of years. And I worked on the school newspaper, and I loved it. I love sports. And I decided I was going to be a sports writer somehow, some way. I don't know how I was going to do it, but I still have the business degree. And long story short, I couldn't get a job in California, so I put an editor and publisher, which was at the time the Trade magazine.
Oh my goodness!
Newspapers, and a job wanted ad, and I got a few inquiries from the Texas area. Believe it or not, 3 or 4, and I picked Denison, Texas, a little town on the Texas-Oklahoma border, where Dwight Eisenhower was born. And I worked there for 4 years. Fell in love with the news editor, Helen. She's my wife for 40 years.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
And I was there for 4 years, and I decided, hey, I got to get out of here. I always wanted to be a baseball beat writer. Really wanted to cover baseball. So one night, back in 1985, my future wife and I, we went to the went to the Denison Herald office. We put together a big package of my clips and resume and everything like that. We sent it out to 19 newspapers in Texas and Oklahoma, and my wife prayed over it right there in the office, and I think that was the determining factor. But long story short, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram hired me because I could do high school statistics. I did all the statistics for 14 high schools in Denison, little towns, Pottsboro and Medill and Kingston, and I did all their stats for them. So Fort Worth Star-Telegram said, can you do that for 70 high schools in Fort Worth? And I said, sure. So they hired me. They said, well,
that's a lot of football.
They said, I don't know if you're a good enough writer, but we need somebody to cover statistics. So I said, sure. So I went to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram in 1985 to cover high school sports for them. I did there 4 years. I got a great boss. He helped me work into being a beat writer. And in 1989, they hired me as a Texas Rangers beat writer.
Wait, so when you say you were doing statistics, what do you mean? Like you were just the guy compiling the statistics, and then?
Well, everybody would cover the games. Everybody
Right.
would cover the games, and they would file their box scores or however you want to do it. Arlington versus Irving, and Joe Schmo rushed for 150 yards on 30 carries, and I put that all together from everybody. And on Tuesday morning, we'd have all the leaders of rushing, passing, receiving.
Whoa!
I did all of that. I also wrote some stories too. They let me write some stories, and the sports editor there said, I like statistics, but I like sports writers who can break stories. I want a good reporter, and he kind of trained me to be a good reporter. And he said, we broke a few stories on the high school beat, and he said, "Okay, I think you're ready to help cover the Rangers." And I got moved up to the Rangers after 4 years of covering high schools at the Star Telegram. They let me cover the Texas Rangers.
So what makes a good reporter?
Number one, research. You got to know your team. You got to know everything about your team. One of the things I tell people, you got to know the rules. You got to know the rules. You got to know when how the waiver wire works, how free agency works. You got to know how the non-tender deadline is. You got to be able to talk to people. You got to be able to move around the clubhouse and just go up to Cal Ripken or Rafael Palmeiro or whoever, Brady Anderson or whoever there is today. Be able to talk to them easily, get information. You just got to be able to work your beat, and you got to be able to write. You don't have to. I'm not a writer. I'm not a great writer. I never tried to be a great writer. I was a great reporter. I broke stories. When you read my story, I tried to hit you over the head with a 2x4 and go right to the lead. I never wrote about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or any of that stuff. Right. I was like, the Rangers traded this guy today, and here's why. Just write it as hard and as fast as you can. I was great on deadline. I was outstanding on deadline. Nobody could write on deadline better than me. And it's just about breaking stories every day. You go to the ballpark every day trying to find a good news story. I mean, I wrote some great feature stories. I wrote some great offbeat stories. I remember one time the Rangers had 4 players in spring training who last name was Z. Their last name began with a Z. Todd Zeal, Greg Zahn, Jeff Zimmerman, and a guy named Mike Zywicka. And I wrote a fun story about that everybody liked. And I wrote fun stories like that. But the big thing I tried to do every day was just get out there and find out what was going on, who they're going to trade for, who they're going to send down, who was going to get taken out of the rotation. That's what it was all about.
So I would imagine to do that successfully, you have to have, first of all, a good understanding of human psychology, because different people will react to different things. And some guys are going to be easier to approach. Some guys are going to be more difficult to approach. Did you find that you had to sort of work the room differently depending on who you were talking to?
I wasn't Sigmund Freud, but you definitely approached people differently. Will Clark was, Rafael Palmeiro and Will Clark, they're joined at the hip, but you approached them differently. Every player you approached differently. Some guys were great to talk to: Rusty Greer, Pudge Rodriguez, Elvis Andrus. But I dealt with some of the strangest human beings that ever wore a baseball uniform. We had Jose Canseco. We had
we got to hear about him. We got to hear about Canseco.
We had John Rocker. We had John Wetland. I mean Josh Hamilton. We had an amazing array of players that, our rogues gallery was just
Adrian Beltre.
Adrian Beltre was he was good, but you had to approach him the right way. Every player,
Nolan Ryan,
who was great to work with. I had no problem with Nolan Ryan. I had very few problems with players. I did have a few problems. There were some guys who were difficult. I don't know if you remember.
Who are the tough guys? The guys that were difficult.
Well, I'm going way back. Craig Lefferts used to be an old Oriole. I'll tell you a funny story.
Padres
funny
too.
Thing is, Gary Pettis was a center fielder for the Rangers in 90-91, and he was miserable. Hated being in Texas. Hated sports writers. Hated everybody. He was just rude, mean. I just couldn't stand him. I didn't want to get near him, but I had to because he was a player that had to be covered. And so finally they released him. He got a 3-year contract, and finally nobody could stand him. So after the second year, they released him. So Gary Pettis was out of my life. And then Ron Washington hired him as his outfield coach. When Ron got the job in 2007, he hired Gary Pettis as outfield coach. I'm going, oh my God, I don't have to believe this guy's going to be in the clubhouse. Turns out he was great. I started talking to him, and he was just fabulous. He was friendly. He was informative. He was quotable. And one night in Minnesota, I said, "Look, Gary, we're at the bar. And we're having a few beers after a game." And I said, "Gary, I remember when you were beeping beep, beep, beep." He said, "Yeah, I apologize. It was a tough time for me, and I didn't like being in Texas, and I apologize." And he and I ended up being great pals, and I love the guy to this day. When I see him, a lot of hugs and all that stuff. But it was just amazing how he flipped from being just a bad guy to cover as a baseball player to being a great guy to cover as a coach for Ron Washington.
Huh. How old were you when you got the Fort Worth job?
Well, I went to Fort Worth when I was 26, and
So pretty young.
but when I got the beat, I was 29.
All right, which
Still
again,
very young.
Still pretty young. Were there guys that were intimidating to talk to?
Oh, they all were. When I was my first year, Pete Incaviglia, Charlie Huff, Huff,
I'll bet he was.
Jim Rice called me. Reggie Jackson threw my notebook away, and Jim Rice called me a stupid beep 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 beep. And
That was Jim.
but I don't. You got to go through it. I tell young writers, it's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Okay, you got to work. You got to establish yourself. You got to prove yourself. You got to establish your credentials. You're not going to go in there and just say, "Oh yeah, well, there's Joe Blow from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. We're going to give him everything he needs." It doesn't work that way. It's got to be tough. It's got to be rough, and you got to go through some hard knocks. And you got to have people tell you that you're a dumb beep or this and that. I mean, it's just not supposed to be easy. And everybody, I remember we got a guy, Jeff Bannister. You guys know Jeff Bannister. He was our manager for 4 years, and by that time I'd been on the beat 25 years or whatever it was, and he was very respectful for me. I was the senior beat writer, and he and I got along great. But we had some new guys. They're like, "Oh, Jeff's this, Jeff's that." Blah, blah. He's like that. I go, "Yeah, you're a kid. You got to learn. Okay, it's not going to be given to you. It's not going to be easy. You got to work for it. You got to establish yourself. You just can't come in here and say, "Well, I'm Joe Blow from the Athletic or the Dallas Morning News," and no, they're going to bow down to you. It doesn't work that way.
And they don't care. They don't care who you are.
It's all changed. I mean, you're going into the locker room, invading people's privacies. Essentially, you're walking around. They're walking around in towel after a game, after a hard loss or whatever, to the point now where they're all done in pretty much in the media room, right? I mean, the access to the locker room is how much of that is still there?
It's still there, but another thing that's very disarming is that if you go to spring training with a team, they're all great guys. They all love you. They're all in a good mood. You're in spring training. You're in Florida. You're in Arizona. You're working out, going to play golf, having a few beers, having a nice dinner. It's exhibition baseball, grapefruit, cactus, whatever, blueberry, whatever. When the bell rings on opening day, the pressure's on those guys. They change. You would not believe how fast they change when the season starts. And guys who were joking with you and laughing with you in spring training, all of a sudden, the pressure is on. I mean, it's a 180-degree turn, and that's something you got to be ready for. If you're not ready for that, because that was one thing that it caught me by surprise early, is that how the players are in spring training is totally 180 degrees different than how they are during the regular season, when the pressure's on, when the games matter, and there's money to be earned.
Interesting. I had a chance. I was doing sports talk radio. My brother and I had a show for a while in Baltimore, and we had a chance to talk to Mike Shropshire, who was he was a Rangers beat writer for the Dallas newspaper, and his era was like before yours. He was, I guess, 60s in through the 70s, and some of the stories that he's written about in his book and what players were doing back then, and the amount of drinking and the amount of carousing. Had things changed by the time I know they've changed today. Had they changed by the time you started, or was it still, kind of a crazy free for all at times?
They changed. But when when Shropshire covered the Rangers, and a lot of those other guys, another guy, Jim Reeves, Randy Galloway, they were in a town called Pompano Beach, Florida, and they're all staying at the same team hotel. They're all going to the same bar, and they all hung out together. And later on, when I got on the beat, we're in Port Charlotte, and I never saw the guys at night. I mean, we weren't there wasn't a team hotel. We're all stationed at condos all over the sun coast of Florida. And I rarely went out with a player. I mean, occasionally I would. If I needed to talk to a player, sometimes we'd arrange for lunch or dinner and to do a story. But back in the 70s, they all hung out and drank and all that stuff. And a lot of that changed. I don't know if it was the money or just the circumstances, or the pressure or something like that. I know midway through the 80s, the riders stopped flying with the team. I never flew with the team on the team charter. I always flew American Airlines. Obviously we wanted the miles, and obviously we wanted to stay in Marriott and get the points, and take care of our families in the off season. So a lot of that changed about the time I got on. We weren't hanging around the team 24/7, but back then they all weren't making like huge amounts of money.
Right.
I think there was a little more camaraderie and get to know each other back in the 70s than there were in the 80s and the 90s and beyond that. After everybody started making money and the riders started doing their own travel arrangements and things like that.
Yeah. So we got a question from Sports Time Machine. He wants to know, how did the heat and temperature affect your day-by-day work? We always hear the horror stories about Texas and Arlington Stadium. How crazy hot is it there? And how'd you handle it?
Well, we wore shorts every day. And it was shock every.
That's what I was. As I'm reading the question, I was thinking to myself, "Well, what do you mean? How did he handle it? He put on shorts and a t-shirt, and he sweated like everybody else."
It was very casual. The New York riders would come dressed like to the nines, and we'd be up there in our, it was tough. It was hot out there, and Arlington Stadium was just brutal, and the press box was brutal, and sometimes we get so hot we get mad and tempers would flare, and we didn't handle it well. But it was like that all everywhere. I remember one time in Baltimore, of all places. I remember in '95 they'd lost 10 in a row. The Rangers lost 10 in a row, club record, and the last two were in Baltimore. And I remember after the 10th loss, I was up in the press box that night, and I had spent the day in Washington D.C., like touring all the sites and going to Arlington Cemetery. So already I'm overheated. So that night, there's rivers of sweat pouring down I remember how bad that was in Baltimore, but it was bad. It was just a very uncomfortable. I've always said that they built the ballpark in Arlington for me, but I remember one time George Bush was the managing general partner of the team back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And we were walking from the dugout to the clubhouse, and you had to go along this very narrow 50-yard tunnel, and it had stone walls, and it had like some plastic AstroTurf type floor. And we were walking up there, and there's like sweat or just dripping. It looked like the cask of Amontillado. and George Bush looks at me and says, "TR, do you really think we need a new ballpark?" And I'm going, "Yes, George, we need a new ballpark." And I always said they built the ballpark in Arlington for me, because that Arlington Stadium was just a miserable. I remember one of the things that was funny was they had out in the right field on the scoreboard, they had a huge temperature gauge. So it would say 98, 97 degrees. And the visiting team was in the third base dugout. So when you walked out of the tunnel into the third base dugout, you looked up, the first thing you saw was the temperature gauge sitting there, 98
Nice
degrees.
touch. Right.
And I remember like the riders, especially California rider, Peter Schmuck, guys like that working for the Orange County
Peter
paper.
Schmuck, who I know very well.
Yeah, they would call their office back in California and go, "Yeah, this is Peter Schmuck at Arlington Stadium where it's 98 degrees at 6:00." And it was, and then they would bet the California Angels beat writers. There'd be about 8 or 9 of them back then. They would have a pool about how hot it would be at 10:00. You'd have to put in the pool about how hot it would get at 10:00. That was their bet for the night.
You mentioned Baltimore. I think I remember, and you would have been covering them at this point. And I was doing this sports radio show. Didn't the Rangers beat the Orioles 24-3? Do you remember that there was a crazy
30-3.
30-3. That's what it was. 30-3.
It was a doubleheader, and the funny thing was about that game. First of all, Dave Trombley got an extension that day.
Right. That's right.
Andy McPhail gave him an extension that day. And the Rangers lineup, this was in 2007, and the Rangers lineup was very depleted. They had a bad year. They finished, it was like their worst year. It was Ron Washington's first year. Pretty sure it was 2007. And their lineup was depleted. They had nobody in there. They had guys like Travis Metcalf and Ramon Vasquez and Jared Saltalamacchia, and guys you'd never heard of. This was in August, and their team they had just traded. They just made the Mark Teixeira trade, and so they were just pretty much on running on fumes, and it was like 6-3 in the 7th inning, and they scored like 24 runs in the last 3 innings, and they won 30-3, and their reliever Wes Littleton got a save because he pitched 3 innings.
Oh, he got the 9-out save.
Yeah, no matter what the score is, if you pitch, three innings and 9 outs, you got to save. So he got a save for a 30-3 ball game. And it was hilarious. And that was a doubleheader. The other thing was a doubleheader, and the Rangers won the second game by at least, like, I don't know what the score was, like 11-3 or something like that. The poor guy got a contract extension, and the Rangers killed him.
Who the hell would have stayed for the second game after he got?
I was just thinking that exact thing. That must have been the most empty stadium in the history of sports, except for the pandemic. I just remember, I was on the air when that score came through, and the show that my brother and I did was, it was a sports show, but it was called The Fighting Ungers, and it was more of almost like a sports comedy show. So I just remember I just went off on the team. And I was allowed to do that because that was kind of our gig. But 30-3 is disastrous.
That's horrible. So I got a question. Obviously, if you're working in the Metroplex, it's cowboy country. So how tough was it to cover something, because the Cowboys are 1A, 1B, and 1C. And everything else is there. So how was it to cover? I mean, because I live in New England, where up until the Patriots got good, it was the Red Sox and everybody else. So how difficult was it to cover something that wasn't the main focus of the area?
Ron, you make a great point, and you still did your job. I mean, it didn't matter.
Right.
You still did your job, but you're right. I remember some of the dark years of the Rangers when the Cowboys were good, and it was like, you couldn't get on the front page and nobody really cared. And it was like I talked to the guy from the Dallas Morning News, Evan Grant, who's a very accomplished writer himself. And I said, Evan, we're like fighting a naval battle among African nations. I mean, nobody cares about this. I mean, we're trying to beat each other on stories that nobody's going to read about. I mean, it was just the early 2000s. It was horrible, Ron. I mean, just like, you're trying to do your job, and I'd break a story, he'd break a story, and you're like, oh, I beat him, he beat me, blah blah blah. Like, nobody cared. I mean, it was all about the Cowboys. And
Jerry Jones getting fed popcorn in the owner's box. I remember watching that.
when the Rangers were winning, either when I was at the Fort Worth Star Telegram, obviously MLB.com is a different story because that's our only gig. But when I was at the Fort Worth Star Telegram, when the Rangers won, you got to remember the Rangers were in Tarrant County in Arlington, and we're the Fort Worth Star Telegram. They're the only professional team in Tarrant County, so we played it up big. I mean, we always went up big. I never had to worry about the Cowboys. When the Rangers won, everybody got excited, and guys were like, "All right, we don't have to worry about the Cowboys anymore. I can actually go to a Ranger game." So that wasn't a big problem. But it was when the Rangers were losing, it was like, I could write, fiction, and it was a dark and stormy night, and nobody would care.
Right. I kind of remember the Rangers, like even as a little kid, growing up in the 70s, they were always one of those teams that they were competitive. Like they were, maybe not always, but in my recollection, they always had a few decent players. They had some all-stars, but they never seemed quite good enough. They for whatever reason, they couldn't make it to the promised land.
Yes,
Right.
that's correct. And a couple of things.
I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but just thinking off the top of my head of guys that played for them, going back to like guys like at some point Jeff Burrows played for the Texas Rangers. Toby Harrah, one of the first baseball cards I ever had, he was a Ranger.
Richie Zisk.
Richie Zisk became a Ranger after his time in the Pirates and going into the 80s. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jenkins, yeah.
Ferguson Jenkins, right? Yeah.
Remember the young pitcher David Clyde?
Oh yeah. I've heard of
David
him.
Clyde. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that brings up a couple of points. Number one is, one of the problems with the Rangers is that when they were bad, they said, okay, we're gonna start out and rebuild. We're gonna have a big rebuilding program. And I want you guys to think about the Atlanta Braves when they hired Bobby Cox and all that, and they went through that long rebuilding program, and they turned it into a world championship organization.
Yeah, they were
All right.
terrible for a while before.
So
that.
in 1973, they hired Whitey Herzog as their manager. The Whitey Herzog. I'm sure you heard of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
First job, he had been the Mets farm director. He had built the Mets, Tom Seaver, Jerry Koosman, that bunch. So he comes to Texas, and he's going to build a team from ground up. Okay. So, they draft David Clyde, blah, blah, blah. So the owner, Bob Short, has no money. I mean, he has absolutely no money. So he hires Billy Martin. So Billy Martin comes in 74 and has his miracle season. I mean, the Rangers are supposed to be in a rebuild, but no, Billy Martin, they win 84 games, finish second place to Oakland. And now all of a sudden, like, let's win, let's go. They bring up all these minor league players, Jim Sundberg, Mike Hargrove, guys from, Mike Hargrove played in Class A. David Clyde should have been in the minor leagues. No, he's in the rotation. So they win 84 games, and we're like, okay, we've got this thing turned around. No, they don't have this turned around. Billy Martin just did a miracle job. Bobby Valentine, same thing in 86. Same thing. They're supposed to be in a rebuilding program. They lost 99 games in 85. 99 games. So what they do, Bobby Valentine takes over, and they go with all these young players in 1986, and they win 87 games. Another miracle season. Bobby Valentine has saved baseball in Arlington. Manager of the year, blah, blah. We got Petey Gavilia. We got Bobby Witt. We got Odie Cal. No. It won too fast, and the whole thing just petered out. Same thing. Buck Showalter did that in 2004. Hey, turnaround miracle season, blah, blah, blah. So that's one problem is every time they're going through a rebuilding program, they had some manager come around and just speed it up way faster than it should have been. That was one big problem. Another big problem is they would get all these great draft picks, and of all these pitchers, we can go from David Clyde to Bobby Witt to Edison Volquez. I mean, I could bore you with names throughout the years that they would have all these great young pitching, and they just never ever. The Orioles got Ben McDonald and and Mike Messina, and they did well with that bunch. And you remember when they had Kevin Gosman and Dylan Bundy, and
oh sure,
yeah,
and that didn't go so well. I mean, the Rangers had the same thing. They have like 2 or 3 guys, and these are the guys we're going to build around. They're going to take us to the promised land, and it just they always had great offensive players, but they could never figure out that pitching. Never could figure out that pitching. But when they did win, they were able to do it, but it was fleeting at best.
I mean, the Orioles had Jake Arrieta. They let him go, and that was a disaster.
Yeah.
So I got to know the answer to this. Have you ever been like was there ever a player that you thought it might come to blows? He didn't like what you wrote about him. He didn't like your face, or whatever it was. Did you ever feel, guys? Because I said before about intimidated, but that's more emotionally intimidated. Has it ever? Did you ever get to that point where this guy might punch me?
No.
Good.
But all right. So
I knew there was going to be a but. Let's hear the
first of
but.
all, I'm going to show you something on the screen. So you're going to have to look at this. That's my book,
Which we're going to talk
Rangers.
about. Yes. Yep.
All right. Chapter in there on Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers pitched for the Rangers he was in baseball for 20-something years. They pitched for the Rangers 1, 2, 3, 4 different times. We had a great relationship. We were very tight. When one year he got signed by the Rangers, this is his second time he got signed by the Rangers, and he got up there and said, at this press conference, I'm glad to be home. You guys love me. And like guys like TR Sullivan, they know me better than anybody, blah, 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 blah. Well, we had a big falling out in 85. We had a big falling out. I wrote that he was threatening to retire if he didn't get a contract extension. He got mad at me for writing that.
In 85 or in 95?
No, excuse me, 2005.
Or 2005.
2005. He got mad at me for that. He was in a bad mood all year. That's the year he assaulted 2 cameramen, got arrested, blah, blah, blah. That whole incident for that whole year is the longest chapter in my book. If you want to hear about it, you got to read the book, because I can't sit there and explain it to you for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's a great story, but one of the great stories is how Kenny Rogers and I went from having a great relationship to the last thing he ever told me was, TR, if you ever get near me, I'm going to kill you. I'll kill you. Wow. And then he went down the hallway and punched out a picture of Nolan Ryan.
Wow. Yeah, because he didn't have the balls to go after Nolan Ryan himself.
No, but
so he went after a picture.
He was so mad at me that he walked down the hallway, and then all these framed pictures of great moments in Rangers history, and one of them was Nolan Ryan, and Kenny was so mad at me that he just punched out this picture of Nolan Ryan. So at least he punched out Nolan Ryan instead of me.
Would you have been writing for them? Wasn't there that famous fight when Nolan Ryan like
Oh,
late
the
in his
Robin Ventura
career?
fight. Yeah.
It's in there.
Oh,
Another
there we go.
chapter. Another chapter. Nolan Ryan. Yes, I will tell you this. That was Nolan's last year in '93, and he was 47 years old. And like Nolan once told me, he said, I could always throw hard, but the rest of my body was breaking down. So he's 47 years old. His 27th year is 1993. He'd already been on the disabled list 2 or 3 times, and he's pitching against the White Sox, and he hits Robin Ventura. This is in August, and all of a sudden Ventura charges the mound.
Yeah.
And I go, oh my God, there's no way Nolan can survive this. I mean, this guy got hurt stepping on a water ski at the lake and cutting himself. I mean, this guy was pretty brittle at this time.
Yeah, I kind of remember that actually.
So all of a sudden, here comes Robin Ventura, 20 years younger than him, ready to punch him out. And the next thing you know, Nolan is 5 uppercuts to the head. And I'm like,
beautiful.
holy cow.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Noogies. It was noogies.
The noogies, yes, that's what we call it. The noogies. You're exactly right, Ron. And the noogies, the 5 noogies. And I'm still amazed. And Nolan they both ended up in a big dog pile. And Pudge Rodriguez was actually the one who almost died. Pudge said he almost suffocated to death. But yeah, I was so shocked because I'm like watching Robin Ventura go up after Nolan Ryan. I'm like going, Nolan's not going to survive this. No way that Nolan's going to survive this.
What did it mean for the Rangers to have Ryan go there?
Well, Ron, in '89, again, we talk about Bobby Valentine. They were in a youth movement, and they had a lot of great young players. I mean, they had. You look back when Nolan Ryan first spring training in '89 with the Rangers, they had Ruben Sierra, they had Kevin Brown, they had Dean Palmer, Rafael Palmeiro. They had incredible. Sammy Sosa was on that team,
Right.
or was in the system. Juan Gonzalez, Pudge Rodriguez. It was one of the greatest farm systems ever. So they were loaded with young talent, but they had not been able to get it together on the field, and they never did. But getting Nolan just galvanized the whole franchise, the fan base, everything like that. I mean, attendance picked up. They drew 2 million for the first time in '89. That was the year he struck. He's 43 years old, and he struck out 301 batters.
Yeah.
And the year before they had finished in like 6th place. That year they won 83 games. But Nolan had the 5,000 strikeout. The next year he threw a no-hitter. He got his 300th win. Then the next year in '91 he got his 7th no-hitter, and it was a big thing. They ended up moving into the new ballpark in '94. They got it passed. They got the votes for the election to fund it and all that. So I think you talk about the house that Babe Ruth built. It's not a stretch to say that the ballpark in Arlington was the house that Nolan built because it had to pass an election for funding. And I think Nolan and his success had a lot to do with that thing. It passed 2-1. Now, if Nolan hadn't been there, would it have passed? Probably, but it passed 2-1. And I think he had obviously a big part of that.
We want to talk about your connection to the hobby, of course, and then of course you and I are going to be playing some Action PC baseball in a little bit. Got a question from Todd B here. Did you ever write I'll bring it up. Did you ever write a story that you now regret you wrote?
Did I regret it? Yeah, I got one. Occasionally you get something wrong. Occasionally you look back and say, yeah, I shouldn't have written it right. I shouldn't have written it like that. And it wasn't anything major. It wasn't anything I'd have to apologize before. But there's a few stories I could have written it better. Yeah.
So the book, let's talk about that. The Texas Rangers and Me. It's available on Amazon. I'm looking at the page right now. It's still in hardcover, right? There's no paperback edition yet. Where else can people find it?
Barnes & Noble and at the University of Nebraska Press website. The University of Nebraska Press does a lot of great baseball books, That's how I got hooked up with them. People said, no, nobody's going to publish your book. Nobody's going to publish your book. And I contacted Rob Taylor at the University of Nebraska Press, And he was great. When we wrapped it up in 3 or 4 days, he said, "Yeah, we'd love to publish it." So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, just reading the blurb here on Amazon, since the team was established in 1971, the Texas Rangers have built a rich history and identity that makes them unique among MLB teams. The Texas Rangers and Me takes readers on a journey through the incredible highs and lows and the unforgettable moments that have shaped the franchise through the eyes of beat reporter TR Sullivan, who covered the team for 32 years. He was there for Nolan's final 2 no-hitters, his 300th win, 5,000th strikeout, and the brawl with Robin Ventura that we just talked about. And, of course, he's covered Canseco, Alex Rodriguez, and you, the listeners and viewers, have had a chance to listen to TR tonight spin some tales of his time, and I guarantee you this book will be an absolute excellent read for everybody who picks it up.
Thank you, Mark.
Please do that. All right, so the hobby, the reason why we have this live stream, how did you find your way into this hobby that we all love so much?
Because I started my own game. I was in 4th grade. I was living in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii, and I had a baseball card collection going, and I started my own game. It was basically, you had 6 columns, 11 results in each column. You'd roll 1 dice and you'd roll 2 dice, and you knew what the result was. I still remember the sheet. If you rolled a 3 and a 4, you hit a home run. If you rolled a 1 and an 8, it was a triple.
Oh, so you used an 8-sided die or a 10-sided die? Or?
No, it's just 2 dice. It's just
well,
two
you
dice.
said a 1 and an 8. Oh, because it's the 1 die and then
One
the
die for
combination of the other 2.
Yeah.
I see.
And I was thinking about this day coming onto the show, and I'm like going, the results of the games we played, they were pretty normal. They were 4-3, 5-4, 2-1. I mean, it wasn't like, somehow in my mind, I got the proper, percentages of what should happen in a baseball game. I mean, somehow I got it right. And then we had a separate sheet for bunts, hit and run, stolen bases, blah, blah, blah. But that's how we played with our baseball cards.
Nice.
Back in elementary school. I used to joke that I was going to patent the damn thing, which of course is ridiculous, but we played this game my 3 years in Hawaii. This very simple game. And I always, and the funny thing was I always wanted to play Stratomatic because back then, the only way you get Stratomatic was in the back ad of one of those, Pro Sports or All-Star Sports.
Street and Smith.
Yeah. And my parents were never going to order something from the back of a magazine. If they couldn't get it at Sears, they weren't going to get it for me. So they got me a lot of crap. I mean, they got me a lot of crap. They knew I love sports.
That's how he ended up with 4 copies of All-Star Baseball.
Yeah. So one day they got
you could find that at Toys R Us.
One year they got me, my all-time favorite player was Carl Yastrzemski. So they got me this crap-ass game, Carl Yastrzemski baseball or something, where it was basically you had a spring-action bat and a little marble, and the marble would pitch the ball, and the bat would hit the ball, and it would roll onto this big, like a cookie sheet with little cups in it all over the field, and wherever the ball rolled into, that was the result of the play. Or I could play on my lunchbox. You had a spinner on the lunchbox. You could play on that. And I'm like sitting there dying for Stratomatic, and my parents were buying me crap. So, and of course, the old, the vibration.
We charge you $150 an hour for this. You understand, right?
Yeah, I mean, the old vibration stuff and everything like that. So finally, I started getting some tabletop games, and I remember in ninth grade in 1974, for my birthday, I got Sports Illustrated Baseball.
Ah,
I think Dave Kigman was on the cover, if I remember right. And you had all 24 teams for the 1972 season, and they only had 19 or 20 players on each team. But they had those little cards, and I just loved it. I just played that game for hours on end all through high school. I played that game, and then they got Bullbound.
Bullbound, great game.
I got Pay Dirt.
Great game.
And I got Superstar Baseball. Remember Superstar Baseball?
I played the hell out of Superstar Baseball.
So what I would do is I took all the superstars and I divided. I had each team draft 4 superstars onto their 72 teams and round out their rosters. And this is what I did I played sports and I did other things, but this, it was like I said before, this is what I love to do all by myself in my room. I played these games forever and ever, and then I took him to college, and then I took him to Denison. When I moved to Denison, I've never stopped playing them.
I remember playing Superstar Baseball was the one with the Hall of Famers, with the
yes,
yeah. I remember playing that with my friend Phil Kay. I was in I think 11th grade. It was a summer going into 12th grade, I think. While watching, do you remember the Cracker Jack All-Star game?
Oh yeah,
where they would bring all of those
played
Hall
it
of Famers.
They played it at RFK.
Yeah, I remember watching that game on television while I'm playing with the guy's card, just thinking that is the coolest experience I'll ever have in this hobby. Because these were guys that were 50s, 60s, 70s. Remember, was it Joe Sewell? Somebody who went way back.
Hit the one off of Warren Spahn that first year.
Hit a home run.
Hit the home run.
That was Luke Appling, right? That's who it was. Yeah,
Luke Appling. I remember Luke Appling.
That's right.
I remember the Rangers had one of those old timer games at the ballpark, and Tom Grieve, who was the general manager, and he was pretty young, and Warren Spahn was pitching in the old timers game, and Tom Grieve hit one off the wall in center field because Tom was 35,
yeah, he was
years
really
old.
young. Yeah.
So he walks back to the dugout, and Warren Spahn just, seriously cussing his rear end, saying, "You never could have done that, blah, blah, I would have struck, blah, blah, blah." Tom Reeves said, I'm never going to play in another old timer game. And Warren Spahn was just cussing him up left and right.
So,
and another thing about that Superstar Baseball game, I don't know if you remember that. They did not have a Joe DiMaggio card on that.
I do remember that.
They had every great player, but no Joe DiMaggio.
Is that a licensing issue?
I'm sure it was. Yeah, for whatever reason, he would have had to have given permission. Well, at that point, was he alive? Yeah, he was. He was
very much alive.
Yeah.
I remember that. There was no Joe DiMaggio.
So, there were some famous sports broadcasters, personalities, who, are well-known hobbyists, like Tim Kirkjian, like John Miller comes to mind. John Miller there's a famous story that, he's broadcasting for the Giants at the time. And he was an Orioles broadcaster for a long time. But I think this was when he was at the Giants. And after games, he's going back to his hotel room to play. I think with him it was Strat, right? Am I right about that?
Right. Yeah, Strat.
Yeah, it was Strat. Are you that way? Like when you're covering baseball, but still when the game's over, you're going back to play your own fictional baseball?
Oh yeah, and especially in spring training when you got all the time in the world at night. You can't sit in a bar from 6 o'clock till midnight. So yeah, I would go back and.
Wait, what do you mean you can't?
I would go back to my hotel room. I played those games. I played that game thousands of times. So right around 2005 was when I got introduced to the Dave Cook.
Right, Dave Cook.
That's when I finally got hooked onto him, and I fell in love with him. Or excuse me, I do football and baseball. I've never done any of the other sports. I play like my mother played solitaire. I play them. You're sitting there in your hotel room or during a rain delay or. In spring training, you're sitting there in the press room and you're waiting for Jeff Bannister to come in and do his media availability in the morning, and you don't have anything to do. People are playing Tetris or solitaire or whatever on their computers. We all, you're at you're in a rain delay or when you're at postseason, you have a lot of time on your hands. I play them like solitaire, and I love them, and I always will.
Do you do full replays, like full season replays, or do you tend to do one-offs or smaller series?
No, I for baseball I pick a team, like the Red Sox, or I remember the Seattle Pilots. I did the Seattle Pilots from '69 to '73. By the time I got them to '73, they were one of the greatest teams of all time. I was a great general manager, and or the Giants or the Rangers or the Red Sox. I'd take a team and I would play them for 2 or 3 or 4 seasons while, I'd make trades and everything. Before you know it, I was kicking butt and taking names.
How about head to head? Have you played much head to head of any of these games?
We've had some leagues here. A guy named Gil Leberton, who was a columnist for the Fort Worth Star Telegram. He's a big gaming guy. He's tried it several different times. I remember We did it one in 89, 90 for a couple of years. We did it one in 97, 98, 99. We did that for a few years. We've tried it again. I've been so busy covering the Rangers that I can't really get invested in an actual team. But I remember in 98, I was in St. Louis. We were covering Mark McGwire's chase for the home run record. And my buddy from the Star Telegram, Jim Reeves, we were both in Gill's league, and we were both in the playoffs, and we had to play our playoff series. So we went up to his room one night after McGwire had hit his 70th home run or 62nd home run or something like that. We had written in our stories. We played our postseason game, and I always had the best pitching. My pitching stats were always lights out. So I won game one with Pedro Martinez. He blew away Revo's team. Then the next game we're playing, and I'm up 4-2. I got Kurt Schilling on the mound against Donovan Osborne, and we're up like 2-1 or something like that, 4-2, 2-1, something like that. And Osborne comes up with bases loaded and 2 outs and hits a beeping grand slam off me.
Still hurts, doesn't it? Still hurts.
This is the best team I ever put together because I think I had Justin Thompson, I had Sean Estes, and I had another starting pitcher. I can't remember which one I had, but I was loaded with starting pitching. And when Donovan Osborne hit that grand slam off me, my team fell apart and I lost the series. It was just wow. Nobody in this world will remember Donovan Osborne except for me.
Did you ever get the chance to talk to him about that?
No. The only guy I was telling Mark this, Justin Thompson got traded to the Rangers in the Juan Gonzalez deal, but he was hurt. And I told him he was on my I call it Stratomatic because I can't explain.
Well, we have to set it up. He had a tremendous year.
When I had him, he had a tremendous year the year before.
Right.
He was my number 3 starter, and I kept him. I protected him for a couple of years because I thought he was going to come back. You can protect. I think our league was you could protect 15 players or something like that. So I kept protecting him because I thought he was going to be a star. The Rangers thought he was going to be a star because they traded Juan Gonzalez for him. That I always joke with Justin was a great guy, really nice guy. And I explained to him what I was doing, this league I was in, and he'd always apologize. Oh, I'm sorry I'm ruining your fantasy league team. I'm sorry I'm doing this. I'm like, Justin, don't worry about it. Just get back, get healthy. Finally, I released him, obviously. But yeah.
Did you tell him you released him?
No. No.
That's the story he regrets writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. Are you aware of any players that were playing these board games or?
No.
No.
I really don't. It's funny though. I'll tell you this. These players, especially Cleveland, at the Cleveland ballpark, these guys play. They do play football, but it's more like Madden.
Right.
They play Madden and they play Duck Hunt. And the Cleveland clubhouse had a lot of video games, big, like you're in a pub, and they loved Duck Hunt, and they loved Madden, and there was another game they would play these video games, Angry Birds. Oh man, they loved Angry Birds. So did they play our games, the strategy based? No, but they played those video games. They loved them.
I'm surprised when Francona went there that they still kept those games in after what happened in Boston. Because that was the beer and chicken and video games when the Sox collapsed in 11.
Yeah, but you would go into the Cleveland clubhouse because every clubhouse guy wants to set up a clubhouse that the players love, so they'll get big tips. The Cleveland clubhouse just had incredible video games. It was like the big stuff that you'd see in a bar or an arcade, and you'd want to go in there and talk to Michael Young or somebody, and he'd be over there playing Duck Hunt with Hank Blaylock, and it was like, and the writers would have to sit there and twiddle our thumbs while Hank Blaylock and Michael Young shot down Mother Goose.
Well, we are almost an hour into this, and it's at some point here we're going to start our game. I'm going to be facing off against TR. As I said, I'm taking the 96 Orioles. He has the 96 Rangers. We're going to play some action PC baseball. I'm going to take my quick break. Ron, Mike, you guys handle the store while I'm gone. But I do have one quick question. Why do you think, TR, and this is something we've talked about a lot, and it's kind of a big part of the documentary, what is it about this hobby that you find the most comforting or the most compelling, or both of those things?
I just love, like, when I was 8 years old, my dad was from Boston. When the Red Sox had the impossible dream, that was the year I just fell in love with baseball. That year, I know everything about baseball. On opening day, 1967, I knew nothing about baseball, nothing at all. By the time at the end of the year, I was a baseball expert. I mean, I knew my parents were, of course, really support me on this and everything like that. It's just a comforting year to me to remember, a warm feeling. When I was in college and sophomore year, the San Francisco Giants had a magical season. 1978, they won 89 games. Vida Blue, Bob Knepper, John Montefusco. These are seasons that you just remember. And I think with our board games, the thing, you know, we love the game, and I love being a general manager. I'm a big general manager guy. I love being a general manager and putting together teams. I always did that. But I just think these games bring you back to your comfort zone. Yeah. And it just allows you to relive it all over again. Just having Carl Yastrzemski in my lineup, or having that '67 Red Sox team again facing the Cardinals in the World Series, and it's just fun to do. I mean, it's like reliving it all over again.
Well, the man who makes your magic happen, TR, is with us. We'll bring him in now, and I'll take my break. Dave Cook from Action PC is with us. Dave, say hello to your biggest fan, TR Sullivan.
Dave,
I'll be right back, guys.
I'll tell you, I'm one of his biggest fans. I finished his book the first few days I got it, and I just joined when he was talking about being a general manager. There's a lot about the book to like, but you can tell his experience, 30-some years being around the different general managers, and he gets into their personalities and things like that, and the owners and the ownership groups. You can tell he spent 30-some years knowing the inside and getting to hear the ins and outs of it, and it's a great read. It's a great read.
So I got to tell you, Dave drives around town in a Cadillac. He has a big Cadillac, and he has a personal license plate that says, "Thank you, TR."
Yeah, thank you, TR.
because I college football, pro football, baseball. I don't know if I can buy anything. Dave, I think I got it all now. I don't think I can buy anything from you, because I think between football and baseball, I mean, I remember I set up in spring training, I set up a 32-team NFL league, AFL, NFL, the whole thing from the 60s and the 70s. I played 14 games, always played 14 games, and we played it right down to the end. And funny thing was, like, 1960 Houston Oilers wanted going away because George Blandon would throw bombs all the time and nobody could play. But I mean, I played so many NFL seasons. I played so many college football seasons. That's
awesome.
I love it. I've been a customer for, I guess, now 20 years. I think I started in 2005. Was somebody finally told me about you and your product, and it's amazing.
And all my kids have long since graduated from college, so I guess it's okay if you've got everything now. We're good to go. If you want to start working on my retirement, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, there's some interesting things. One thing about college football, if you play his college football game, you got to have a quarterback who can run. You can't win at college football on Dave's program if you don't have a quarterback who can run. That's my only tip.
Don't give your secrets out. Just in case you're in a league, don't give your secrets out.
But yeah, I mean, I'm amazed. I mean, I bought teams from the 20s, the 30s. I'm not a big dead ball guy, but I bought teams from the 20s, the 30s. I bought teams. It's just amazing when I buy these teams, how realistic they are. I mean, I don't know how you did it. I mean, it's just phenomenal how you can call it the 1940 Boston Red Sox, and you got Mace Brown, the reliever, and you got his splits. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me.
That's fun. I got a question for you. All the years playing the game, I don't want to share other names, but there's people that you interacted with a lot. Did you guys play while you were on the road? Because you do mention the book a lot of times in your room, waiting to get stories together, waiting for news, in hotel lobbies. And he does have travel advice in there too of some of the worst places to stay. So, but I would imagine, did you, with some of your writing cohorts that I know are customer? Did you do any online play or head-to-head or anything like that?
Oh yeah, did you hear my Donovan Osborne story just now?
And I did not. I had.
Okay, so
I'm late because I had a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old grandson playing soccer at different times. I left one game early so I could get on this. It's classic. I'm using that to help put together a soccer game.
Do you know Gil Leberton? Because he's
yeah.
All right, so Gil's had a league here for off and on for years and years. And in '98, Jim Reeves was a columnist for the Forward Star Telegram. I was the beat writer, and we were at St. Louis when Mark McGuire hit his 60-second home run. I mean, we were there for a long time. So anyway, we both made the playoffs that year, and we had to go head-to-head 7-game series. And after one of the McGuire games, we went up to our hotel room at the Marriott, and we played our 7-game series. And I always had the best starting pitching. So I won game 1 with Pedro Martinez. And in game 2, I was up like 2-1 with Curt Schilling on the mound. And Donovan Osborne hit a grand slam home run and off Curt Schilling, and I lost the game, and my team fell apart, and we lost the series. And that was the best team I ever had. But yeah, I remember I was playing that late at night at the Marriott in St. Louis after a Mark McGuire game.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And chasing scoops too, but yeah, that's another spoiler alert on the book. He doesn't mention it, but a lot of the people, well, some of the people in the book also play our game, not just TR. So, and they play other games too. I know everybody that plays our game plays 10 other games too. So it's an inexpensive and addictive hobby.
I love it. I mean, I was telling these guys, it's like you put together your team and you're like reliving your childhood or your college years or, years on the Rangers beat. It's just fun. I'm pretty much, I don't play anything after 2000. Okay. I pretty much, for baseball, I only play 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. I'm not big on after 2000. I like
playing the stuff that's a little bit fuzzy in my head. Like my early Brewer memories are 1970, which is when they came to Milwaukee. So it's like fuzzy there. I can remember a little bit of 1969, but didn't follow it close. But my best friend was an Oriole fan and still is, or the Packers of that era.
Good for him.
It's it's that fuzzy time when you thought you knew baseball, but you really didn't. So you can go back and see Ron Theobald play. Do you guys know who Ron Theobald was?
Oh yeah, he was second baseman.
Very good. Do you know his nickname?
No.
The Little General. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember. When I play NFL football, I always have the 67 Packers.
Okay.
I love the 67 Packers. That's Instant Replay, the book by Jerry Kramer.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I love that team. And when I did that, I did the Packers. I replaced Vince Lombardi as head coach of the Packers. When he retired, I took over, and I coached that team for like 4 or 5 years, and we finally won 2 Super Bowls, and I got bored and moved on. But after Lombardi left, I won 2 Super Bowls with the Packers because we did.
So, when you say that you're playing this game for 4 seasons, are you using the legacy mode that Dave has, or just you're buying the 67 season, the 68?
I'm buying the 68 season, but what I'm doing is here's kind of the funny thing that I'm doing is I'm drafting college players who never made it into the pros, and I'm pretending that they did make it for me. So there's a guy named Mike the Cat Ballou, who was an All-American for UCLA in 1968, 69, but he was a total bust in the NFL. Well, not for me. He was a great player for me because I took Joe Schmidt off the 1962 Detroit Lions
right.
and put him on the 1968 Green Bay Packers because he was my number 1 draft pick, and I just changed his name to Mike Cat Ballou. So now I had an all-pro linebacker, and I kept doing that. I'd have every year, like 4 or 5 years, I would pick one guy off the All-American list who nobody ever heard of because he didn't make it into the pros. Well, I put him on the Packers, and I grabbed a player from past years and turned him into that guy.
So you kind of cheated on Lombardi there.
No, I was just a better drafter than he was.
Joe Schmidt, wasn't he a part of that film? Was it Paper Lion?
Paper Lion. Oh
yeah.
Oh, I love that team.
I
bought that team from Dave. That I specifically bought that team, the 62 that team was 63. The 62 Lions were a great team, but the Packers went 13-1, and their only loss was to the Lions. The Lions went 11-3. That was a great Detroit Lions team.
Yeah, they beat
Thanksgiving
the Lions. Lions beat the Packers on Thanksgiving Day and sacked Starr something like 9 times.
26-14. Roger Brown set an NFL record by 2 safeties in that game.
You know, this is the kind of stuff, again, going back to, and we'll get to the game in a second. I have it up and ready to show. You know, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, TR, about that sort of nostalgic feeling that you get from just hearing these players' names. And you know, I'm too young to have ever seen guys like Joe Schmidt or any of those guys play, but I know about them from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so those guys become important to me because they were important to him. And I like how, for a lot of people in this hobby, you know, that legacy is passed down, you know, from father to son or father to daughter.
Yeah.
It's a great part of what makes this hobby so special. And this hobby is almost 100 years old now.
And the great thing about the football, one of the great things about the football is you can coach both offenses.
Yeah.
So I always coach the offenses, unless I'm specifically coaching the Packers or something like that. But
I don't know anybody who coaches both defenses and not the offenses.
I don't either.
So
It's
when I do a 32 team league for NFL, or I do a I got another thing I got to ask Dave here in a second. When I do a college thing, I always do both offenses. And Dave, what do you have against the West Coast? Why is there not Stanford? Why can't I get a Stanford team or a Cal team? You are just you're old. You're the 100 greatest NFL or college football teams. You don't have Stanford in there. You don't have Cal in there. What is up with that?
I don't know. We'll work on it for you. We're Midwest nice, so we look at anything.
Right. All right.
Wisconsin nice. More than Midwest nice. We're Wisconsin.
I mean, you don't have Jim Plunkett in there. You don't have.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, that's the one little thing I'm like, because I try to put one team from every school. Like one year I did all your college football teams. I picked one team from every school, and I played an 11-game season. All of them, SMU, Texas A&M, blah blah blah. I did them all. One team. I had to pick one team from Notre Dame, one team from Michigan. You know, now you got to pick like 8 teams, but I'm like, where is Stanford? Where, you know? I
gotta make a shopping list down here. What to add for
1970s.
Now I know why TR did our show. He just wanted to go after Dave Cook.
Wow. We'll pretend to tell stories for an hour, but
you could just send me a nasty email or something.
I'm just saying, I just want to know. I'm trying to fill out this league, and I don't have enough teams from the West Coast.
Hey, you mentioned your playing partner and writing partner, Gil LeBreton.
Yeah.
Did you see last month? I think he was inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall?
Yeah, that was a big moment. Yeah, Louisiana Hall of Fame. Yeah, we're very proud of him. That's great.
Cool.
So we have a game to play, gentlemen. There we go. And we are going to be playing the 1996 Texas Rangers, who were 90-72 that year.
Is Ron announcing this thing?
Yes, he will.
Can you read the icons that way on?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I have it on a laptop, so I can't.
And I will be taking the 96 Orioles, whose record was 88-74. So 2 very evenly matched teams, and I'm going to bring up the game on my end. Ron, it's up to you.
All right, you got to take everyone off the screen so I can see the bottom of it, though.
Do you need that part? I think it's better for us to be on the screen.
Yeah, I need to be able to see it.
I definitely think it's better for us to be on the screen.
Okay, it's harder to call, though.
Well, I mean, the only thing you're not able to see is I
can't see home plate.
You can't see home plate. Hold on.
No.
Well, I can't either.
If you sit in the press box,
I see.
Ron's head is subbing for home plate on my screen.
I guess that's yeah. No, I see that now. Yeah.
If you sit at the press box in the new ballpark,
I mean, I can make it smaller like this.
Anyway, so
that's fine.
That works.
I can make it like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I do think it's important that we see ourselves.
Yeah. Yep.
And not just for vanity reasons.
TR, did they name the press box after you?
No, they named it after John Blank. If they had named it after me, I would have killed them. It's like it's higher than any paid seat in the ballpark.
Okay, there is one press box in the NFL that's named after a longtime customer of ours. So,
that's cool.
Some years, yeah. Yeah.
TR, did you hear about what happened? Because you've been to the press box at Camden Yards a million times, and I've been there a few times, not a million, a few times. I had heard it was considered like one of the best press boxes in baseball because of the view.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, that doesn't exist anymore.
Really?
They moved them.
Yeah, they got rid of it
all.
and they put up a parking lot. No, I'm Joni Mitchell. No,
Yeah, I know.
they put up like a diamond club or whatever they call it.
yeah.
Like, yeah, one of those things that
And the press box is now up at the,
now in the basement.
Bromo Seltzer.
It's across the street in the Hilton.
Yeah.
That's very funny. All right, so do your stuff, Ron.
Leading off, 293, 6 homers, 51 RBI. Rainy night here in Baltimore. Mussina is ready. So is Hamilton. Mussina 1911 with an earned run average of 481. Oh my goodness.
Wait, why did I take him? I just assumed it's Mussina.
Well, it did win 19.
Yeah, but winning is meaningless. The ERA matters.
Actually,
whip matters even more. But
it is 1996, so
yeah, I mean that's
today.
Oh, that's true. That's a really
ERA
good
plus
point.
is probably
Yeah.
around 100.
This
Especially
is when they're
in
starting to
American
get
League.
pumped up. The batter's starting to get pumped up, and we're getting into the steroid issue.
Right.
Or era.
All right.
All right.
And
Here we go. Here's the pitch, and that is.
it's not going to do this again, is it?
Walk.
Problem last time he walked.
Every time I watch one of your,
I don't know what I don't understand that. All right, I'll fix it. Hold on. We're gonna fix it. I'm
just
going
go to
fix it.
setup.
Yeah, I know. I believe me. I know how to do it. I don't understand why it only seems to happen. It must have something to do with StreamYard.
Oh, that's right. We figured there was something going on there.
It must have something to do.
All right, so it is Hammonds in left. He's a 6 and a 5. Brady Anderson a 5 and a 7 in center.
Mark, just
Bobby
right
Padilla,
click
a
and hit
4
setup.
and a 9 in right. BJ Surhoff a 5 at third. Cal Ripken a 5 at short. Robbie Alomar a spitting 7 at second. And Rafael Palmeiro a 6 at. This is all steroid team. My God. He's a 6 at first.
Right click the field, hit setup, and then just hit OK. It might refresh it on your screen.
Oh, just on my regular screen? On the main screen?
Baseball game, yeah.
All right, so I'll hit cancel there. You said right click. Wait, right click on the field someplace?
Just anywhere so you can hit setup.
Okay.
I don't know if we can see.
Okay.
We probably can't see that.
And Chris Hoyles
All right.
is a 5.
So now it brought up setup. It brought up game.
Yeah, then just hit OK and it may refresh it. I'm not sure what StreamYard does to you, but
all right, we'll try it. All right, so Hamilton on first. Rusty Greer steps up. Let's see what
At
happens.
332, 18 homers, 100 RBI.
That cleared
That's
it.
a ground ball to third.
Wow.
He goes to Alomar, 1 out.
You would
2 out.
think Cook invented this game.
Juan Gonzalez, 314, 47 homers and 100 and a gross of RBI.
Mussina delivers.
There's a fly ball left field. Hammonds is there, and that will do. After half an inning, no score.
I'm going to slow the video down a little bit so you can call it easier.
So it's Anderson leading off in center. Alomar batting second, playing second. Palmeiro at first, goes third. Bobby Bonilla cleans up for Balmer. Cal at short will bat fifth. BJ Surhoff at third, goes sixth. Devereaux is the DH. Chris Hoyles at eighth. Behind the plate, and Hammonds in left will bat ninth. Ken Hill, 16 and 10, the 3.63 ERA, which is the metaphysical equivalent of under 2 in real years.
And Juicin Brady steps up to the plate.
50. He stole 21 bases.
And there's
Fly
a
ball
fly.
right field. Gonzalez 1 out. Rusty Greer an 8 and a 3 in left. Hamilton a 6 and a 1. That's a ramen noodle arm in center with a 1. Gonzalez a 2. It's not even good in strat. And a 6 arm. Dean Palmer a 4 at third. Kevin Elster a 6 at short. Mark McLemore an 8 at second. Will the Thrill Clark a 4 at first. Pudge Rodriguez, who's either 1 day older than I am or 1 day younger, but we were born the same year, is a 10 and a 7 behind the plate, and Ken Hill's a 7 on the mound.
What's Kevin Elster's range?
He's a 6.
No, he's not.
There's the pitch.
No, he's not.
Fly ball to
ball.
center. Hamilton's there, 2 out for Raphael. 289, 39 homers, wagging his finger at a congressman and driving in 142. That's a base hit to center. Palmeiro going to stretch it for 2. He is.
All right. Bobby
So
Bonilla.
Bobby Bowe at 287, 28 homers, 116 RBI.
Are we pitching around him?
You can if you want.
You could.
Let's try pitching around him and see what happens.
Ah.
And that's what happened. He walked him.
That's all right. We'll put up this right-handed stiff.
For Cal, 278, 26 homers, 102 RBI.
Did he break the streak in 95 or 96? I can't remember.
95.
95, that's what I thought. All right, here's Ripken. Nothing special. Here we go. He's going to hit, and there's going to be
a ground ball to McLemore over to Clark, and that will do. Orioles go. They
sneak through.
They leave on 2 after 1, no score. Will Clark, 284, 13 homers, 72 RBI. Chopper to first. Palmeiro, 1 out.
You want ATR? You want to share a spoiler, a Will Clark quote that you put in the book, or make people read the book instead?
Which one is that? Go ahead. I mean,
you asked him something about coming to Texas, and he told you he didn't come here to.
Oh, so when Will was at his press conference, when he was introduced, I said, "Will, the Rangers expect to win the World Series, want to win the World Series. They expect to win the World Series, and they expect you to lead them to the World Series. How do you feel about that?" And he looks at me and goes, "TR, I did not come here to lose."
There you go.
That's one of the famous quotes of Rangers history. And, they won 2 division titles while I was here. They never went to the World Series, but Will. Will.
All right, here we go. Palmer steps in. Messina delivers. There's the pitch.
Base hit left center field. That's extra bases. Hammonds will get it. The throw to second, not in time. And Palmer, a forgotten all-star, is on second. 1 out for Fruit Loop. Mickey Tettleton, 240.
Dean Palmer was a great guy. I love Dean Palmer. Just a great guy.
Yeah, he was one of those lost guys. It could be because they had so many great hitters.
Yeah,
you didn't think about him.
Right. He grounds out to first. Here's McLemore, 295.
Palmer moves to third. Pitch to McLemore, and he got him.
Oh, yeah. He also struck out with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 99 ALDS, and was one of the biggest outs in Rangers history. So, Mark, you're doing just fine.
All right, BJ Suroff steps in.
292, 21 homers. Ground ball to McLemore, 1 out.
McLemore had a great year. What's McLemore's defense in this year? I can't.
Pretty good. 8. He's an 8.
He should have won the Gold Glove that year. If you look at the defensive statistics, I can't remember who won it, but McLemore should have been the Gold Glove that year.
Would it have been Alomar, maybe?
Probably Alomar, but McLemore had a phenomenal year defensively that year.
Devereaux, 229. And that's off the mound. Throw, that's an error. And Devereaux's going to reach.
Who's the error on?
An error is going to be on Kevin Elster.
Oh, imagine that.
Send him back to New York. Here's Hoyles. And that's a strike. Struck him out. Got him. For Hammonds. Bottom of this lineup isn't great for Baltimore. Elster to McLemore, and that will do. They leave on 1 more. After 2, no score.
Top half of the third.
Elster hit 24 homers?
Oh, that 99 RBIs is still a record for the number 9 spot in the order.
Wow.
And it's not even close. It's not even
close. Third.
My wife for listening, she'd be complaining about stats for everything in baseball.
Surhoff over to Palmeiro, 1 away.
Rangers order.
So Hamilton, who walked his first time up.
Top of the order.
Ground ball to Ripken, over to Palmeiro, 2 out. Alomar's a 7 in this game.
I was just noticing that. Yeah, he's a 7.
Pudge, 0 for 1. Fly ball left center. Back goes Anderson. It's gone.
Pudge.
So Pudge makes a 1-0 Texas, 381 to dead left center.
T, I did that for you. T.
It's fun playing with a guy who knows all the players.
Because TR is too long to say.
Bonilla goes back for Greer, and that's the inning. Rangers get a run on a hit, and after 2.5, 1-0.
Greer is a high school coach in Fort Worth, and his player, the number 2 pick in the draft this year, played for him. I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he coached the kid. Rusty coached him.
McLemore, that makes an error after being told he was a Gold Glover. He can't make the play. Clark is thrown off the bag, and that's the second error for the Rangers.
I'll tell you another quick story on Rusty Greer. He holds a clinic every year for high school players, and all they do is defense. There's no hitting. All they do is talk defense.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
All right, Alomar 0 for 1. Anderson on first.
That's a base hit. That's in front of Gonzalez, and Anderson on his way to third.
Whoa. There's nobody out.
That's right.
Nobody's
That's right.
going to third on nobody out. Go ahead.
Anderson had a lot of speed.
Yeah.
He did a lot of speed. I mean,
All right.
That too. All right, so you might want to make some choices here about
what are you going to do with Paul?
No. Going for the double play.
All right, and you're not going to pick off or anything like that?
Who's on first?
Alomar with a 22% chance to steal.
No,
right.
he shouldn't be running.
And I'm going to swing Palmero, and he walked him.
Bases
loaded, nobody out.
All right.
For Bobby Bowe, walked his first time up.
Earn your keep here, Bobby.
Here we go. Popped him up. Clark on the
Infield
grass.
fly.
1 out.
Now we got Cal. Cal can hit and do a double play. Watch Cal.
For 1.
26 homers that year.
He's going to hit a double play. 6-4-3 right here.
All right.
Struck him out.
Ooh.
2 away for BJ.
Ken Hill get out of this. BJ Surhoff, good hitter, good contact hitter.
56 pitches, but 2 out here in the third.
And he walks in a run.
Anderson scores. It's 1-1.
And
And he's
Wait a
hurt.
minute. Whoa.
BJ's hurt.
Oh, BJ's hurt?
BJ's hurt. So I think I'm going to have to. Well, it's,
Nope. He appears. He can stay in the. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I want to pitch aggressively.
Wow, I've never ever used that. What is that actually?
It cuts down the walks, but you raise the hit. It's a very realistic option. But Devereaux's a 218 hitter here, 283 on base. I want my guy to go aggressive to Devereaux.
I'll have to replace Surhoff.
Good call.
Hold on. Let's see. We'll go with Tarasco.
Tony Tarasco.
You're pinch hitting?
No, he got hurt.
Surhoff
Surhoff
got
was hurt.
hurt.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Jeffrey
bases
Meyer's
loaded.
best friend.
I was
Right.
thinking the same thing.
You going aggressive again?
I got to go aggressive to Devereaux.
Bases
All right.
loaded. 2 out.
And there's a
Ground ball to Clark,
Tapper to
and that
Clark.
will do it. But the Orioles tied the ball game on the bases loaded walk. After 3, 1-1. Orioles have left on 6. Manager Unger, not real thrilled with that.
I could move beneath. He's a 1. I guess I'll go with Manny. Is it Manny Alexander?
Oh, Manny Alexander. Oh, I remember him.
All right.
He's a 3. Gonzalez 0 for 1. Fly ball left field. Hammonds 1 out. For Clark. He's 0 for 1. Mussina struck him out. 2 away for Dean Palmer, who doubled his first time up.
Strikeout number 2 for Messina. Strikeout number 3 for Messina.
There you go. After 3.5, 1-1.
Chris Hoyle steps in.
Chris is 0 for 1.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry, I already hit it. Please don't get a home run because he's going to yell at me. He flew out to center.
All right, I want to go aggressive on Hammonds.
Got it.
Interesting.
It worked.
Struck him.
All right, Brady Anderson.
No, normal on Brady.
Okay. 2 outs here.
Chopper to Hill over to first. That'll do. After 4.
All right. Hold on a second. How many? All right, Hill's got 76 pitches and he's got 120. Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, Tettleton steps up to
0
face
for 1.
Messina.
Popped him up. Hoyles makes the play. 1 out. For McLemore.
Lost him.
Oh, walked him.
All right. What do we got here, Mac?
Elster.
What is Mac? We don't want to. We're not running. Go ahead.
I'm going to try to pick him off. So you're just hitting, right?
Yeah, we're just hitting.
Nope.
He's back. And now
no.
he's got a 73% chance, TR.
Yep.
What's Hoyle's number?
He's
Well, I have to probably should decide what I'm going to do on the honor system. So I have decided what I'm going to do. So now you can
Hoyle's
decide.
arms a 4.
No, I'm going to hit away.
All right, here we go. I'm just going to pitch. Double
Round
play
ball
ball.
from No. They barely got Elster.
Oh, they barely got Elster. Yeah, that would be a first for Elster.
You hate that guy.
No, I really like Kevin. I really like Kevin. Kevin was great to have. He was fun to be around. He had a phenomenal year, but he had limited range and he had limited speed. But he hit. He had great hands and he could field the routine ground ball and he could turn the double play and he did hit 24 home runs. He was a good guy to have around. We like Elster.
Good.
McLemore, by the way, has a 73% chance to steal third.
Oh wow.
No, it's 2 outs. Not with 2 outs. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I am going to pitch. And here we go.
Hamilton 0 for 1 with a walk. Runner goes. Ground ball to Cal over to first, and that will do. Halfway home, 1-1.
As Roberto Alomar steps in, he's 1 for 2.
Hill on 76 pitches. And
There's a base hit to
Yep.
center. So Alomar is on.
Third hit for Baltimore. Here's Rafi.
Rafael Palmeiro.
So let me whoa. I got a question for Dave. All right. So what is Alomar's steal rate here? What is his percentage?
56%.
Dave, does that account for the fact that Pudge is behind the plate?
Absolutely. And it'll change every pitch too. Otherwise it's too predictable. Your lead chance or your percentage. But yeah, the Pudge would knock it down quite a bit.
Because I've been playing I played some teams with Jim Sundberg in his prime, and nobody steals on him either.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Back when he played 160 games, and
So you're just pitching, right?
I'm pitching, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I am going to hit.
Fly ball, right field. Gonzalez will make the grab on the track, and Alomar has to scamper back. One out
Brings
for
up Bobby
Bo.
Bonilla. And I'm going to hit. There's a
Base hit left center. Greer will pick it up. Alomar going to go to third.
4% chance if you want to throw.
No. Second base. I mean, no throw.
Right.
No, we
All
want
right.
no
Runners
throw.
on the corners. One out.
For Cal. He's 0 for 2 with a K. Hill on 87 pitches.
There's the pitch. And that's
Ground ball
be...
to McLemore. Is he going to turn two?
Oh, look at that. Double play chance, 99%. I'm going to send him home.
You're going to turn 2 here, right, TR?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one.
Elster for
and
1.
There's
Clark for 2. After 5, 1-1. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Rangers. They've left on 3. Baltimore, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. And they have left on 7. Here's Pudge. He's homered in this one. The lone run for Texas.
We got to get a run here.
Won't be him. He struck out. That's 4 for Musina. Here's Rusty Greer. He's 0 for 2. Base hit left field. Hammonds will cut it off. And I'll bring up Juan Gonzalez. 0 for 2.
Greer has a 96% chance of stealing.
96% chance?
Yep.
Dave, I love you.
Hold on. Let me make my decision if I'm going to do it. But I've decided what I'm going to do.
Dave, I love you, but there's no way Rusty has a 96% chance of stealing that base. But I'm going to steal it.
On your computer right now.
And I'm going for pickoff. And you're stealing, right?
Sure.
He's back.
Save.
What's
Still
it now?
68.
All right.
I need to decide what I'm going to do. I've decided.
I'm not going.
And I'm just pitching. All right. Here we go.
Runner goes. Ground ball to Alomar. Ripken for 1. Palmeiro for 2. A 4-6-3 double play. Bottom 6-1-1. TR, who was the best high school athlete that we might have known from those 4 years that you covered?
Uh,
Nobody?
It was Texas, probably all of them.
No. I mean,
Okay.
if you lived in Texas, I mean, there was J.J. Joe, quarterback Baylor. I
But
don't think.
no NFL players that.
Not that I remember. I don't think I ever covered a high school baseball player. No, no, nobody.
Okay.
No.
All right, here we go. Manny Alexander steps in.
103 in 96.
Whoa! We're aggressive.
Yes.
Wait, you're going. Oh, you're aggressive. Okay, I got you.
It worked. Got him. But 2-2. Got him looking. 1 out for Devereaux.
Let's stay aggressive. Let's stay aggressive.
Got him.
Yeah.
We got a good morning and a good afternoon. That's 5 for Hill. Here's Hoyles.
Aggressive or regular pitch?
I mean, whoa. Dave, what do you think about going aggressive here?
1-1 game. I would still just pitch.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pitch. I'm going to pitch.
There's a
base hit left center. Greer cuts it off.
You're welcome.
No, I was curious because, sometimes aggressive will bite you. Aggressive will bite you.
Right.
I mean, some guys who you think your pitcher should just blow away, you'll end up hitting a 2-run double. All right, who we got? Hammonds.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Risk reward and everything.
Yeah, let's go aggressive with Hammonds here.
Yeah.
It worked. He got the side after 6-1-1.
I want to go aggressive.
Everybody's doing it.
It looks like so much fun.
I've never done it. I've played Dave's games for years. In fact,
me
got
too.
8 years worth of videos of Dave's games for years. I've never done it.
Dave, one thing I've never done is run and hit.
Yeah, I never have either. Yeah, never done it either.
I do the hit and run. I love the hit and run, but I've never run and hit. I've never tried it. And is there something?
Practice when you're not playing live, right?
What?
Practice when you're not playing somebody.
Okay.
Clark
All right.
go for 2. Bucina on 82 pitches as we start the 7th. Base hit left center field. That's going to be extra bases. Throw goes into 3rd, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Dean Palmer.
Wait a minute. Whoa. What inning were you? Top 7?
Top 7.
I don't make moves till the 8th.
No, we're all right, top 7, right?
I don't make moves till the 8th. I once had a great conversation with Jeff Bannister. One of the toughest jobs of an American League manager is whether or not to pinch hit in the 7th inning. That's one of the toughest jobs he has to do. We had a great conversation with it.
Why's that?
Because they could bat in the 9th.
Yeah.
Like if you want
Close to going through the order.
Yeah. So I'm not going to pinch run for Clark.
Oh, okay.
Who was a great base. Will was a great base runner, kind of like Brooks Robinson. He wasn't very fast, but he was very instinctive.
It's rated a 4, by the way.
I might walk Palmer. Hold on.
You got Tettleton on deck.
Yeah. What do you think? Walk him? Anybody? Oh, I don't get any help. Only he does.
No. You don't walk Dean Palmer. He's too much of a strikeout guy, and he can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He can hit some power, but he's not going to get the runner over, and he's got a good chance to strike out.
All right, I'm with you.
I would not walk him.
All right,
Red Sox fans don't root for the Orioles.
Well, you just take our players. Adley Rushman, it still hurts. It still hurts.
That was a stunner for me.
Yeah.
I thought that guy was going to be the centerpiece of the Orioles.
I really did.
Lines out to center, 1 out.
And Clark does not move off second base.
So now Tettleton's 0 for 2. Now this is where you might try that aggressive. 246.
I know if I do, this is going long. I know it. I'm positive. So I'm just going to
hold on. I'm going to get Al Bunbury on my speed dial.
Okay. All right.
You don't go aggressive with first base open.
That's true.
Right, Dave?
Probably not.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Right. All right. There's the pitch. Swung on and
got
missed.
him.
Strike 3.
That's 5 from Bucina. Here's
Mac, you're just like real life, boy.
Dave
Dave got you perfect. You can't come through in the clutch.
And there's a
Ground ball to Alomar. And that will do. The Rangers leave Clark on second. Stretch time in the rain, 1-1.
Whoa.
Thank God I'm a country boy. Da, 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 da. We're in Camden Yards. You got to sing that crap.
All right,
Ken Hill is on 110.
Where are you? Who am I facing here?
Anderson, Alomar, and Palmero.
Right.
What is Alomar splits?
251 versus left, 319 versus right, or OBP is 355 or 416.
All right, I want.
It's down at the bottom there too.
What's that?
It's down at the bottom underneath on his little card down there.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just I can't see that well. I want to go with. I think I want to go with Mike Stanton.
So we're pulling Hill.
I think he's my best left-hander against lefties.
Let me take a look here.
Where's my bullpen?
I can see it, but the way I have this set up, but I can tell you his average versus lefties is 250. Dennis Cook has an average of versus lefties 192.
And Fosberg?
Fosberg is 258. He has the highest of the three.
All right, let's go with Cook.
Dennis Cook steps in.
409, 5-2, 70 and a third with 53 hits allowed, 64 strikeouts. Brady Anderson 0 for 3. Brady Anderson 0 for 4 as he grounds out the second.
Didn't you say this was going to be 1-1 going into the ninth or something? You said that. Alomar.
This is switch hitter, 2 for 3, and he
Walks
draws
him.
the walk. So the go-ahead run is on. One out for Rafael Palmero. Walked and doubled. Popped him up. A rainmaker. Macklemore, 2 out.
What is Benia's splits?
303 versus
wait a
left,
minute.
280 versus right.
303 left, 280 versus right.
On base, there's the same. 362.
On base is basically the same, right? Exactly.
Yeah. What's the power numbers?
528 left, 473 right.
And I got all right-handers coming in. Let's bring in Jeff Russell.
Okay. All right, Jeff Russell comes in to pitch.
338.
Bonilla.
All threes across the board.
Got him.
Oh, well done.
No, he hit him. Catcher
interference.
What happened?
Holy Ed Armbruster.
What happened?
Called for catcher interference.
Oh, Pudge never had a catcher interference.
Hey, TR, he did in my world.
Right. Right. And now in TR and now in TR.
Rodriguez.
And now he's dropping Cook bombs, right?
Right.
Who we got? I got some.
You got Russell
Banjo
facing.
hitting
You got Russell
shortstop.
facing Ripken.
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go. Man on first
2
and
on,
second,
2
2
out.
away. Crowd is ready. There's a base hit.
Base hit. This Alomar should score.
You have 3% chance of getting him.
No.
Alomar will score. It's 2-1 Baltimore.
All right.
That's what happens after you sing Thank God I'm a Country Boy. This is what happens.
All right.
Here is the man, the myth, the legend, Manny Alexander.
Oh, this is not good.
All right, we're going aggressive on Alexander.
I'm not sure that he's actually going to be getting an at bat. Todd Zeal plays third, right? Yeah. What am I doing here? Why am I
That was an evil laugh.
Not a lot off the bench here. I'm bringing in Murray. That's who's coming in. Eddie Murray's coming in to pinch.
Why is he in the starting lineup?
Because he's 8,000 years old.
Actually, because he only had 230 at bats, so I went with their more regular lineup.
Who? Mike Devereaux?
Devereaux got it. Yeah, he was an important part of that team, I think, wasn't he?
No, he had 229.
Well, I'm talking in terms of playing time. All right, Eddie Murray, the switch hitter to face Jeff Russell. Man on first and second, 2 away. Come on, Eddie. Crowd chanting, Eddie. There's the pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball. Clark will take it, and that'll do it.
And that's the inning. However, the Orioles get one on a hit and an error, and after 7, 2-1 Balmer.
Messina is still at 98 pitches.
Yeah, Messina's still good.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
Elster,
Kevin Elster.
Hamilton,
right.
and Rodriguez.
Go ahead, bring it on.
Now can I go aggressive?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go aggressive. This is gonna be so painful. All right, I'm wincing. All right, here we go.
First time, Mark.
Yes, it is. Here we go.
It only hurts the first time, Mark.
Missing a third baseman, so we'll go with Zeal. All right. All right, here we go.
6 at third. Wow.
And there's the pitch.
Ground ball to short. Ripken over to first, 1 away.
That was painless.
This is the best defensive Rangers team ever, and I got 3 years and a catcher's interference.
I'm sorry, Dave.
The nasty grand.
Yeah, but let me interject here. It's a different manager.
No.
Right. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Vince Lombardi of the Texas Rangers, right?
Oh, he walked him.
Walks Hamilton.
Right. Hamilton can't run, can he?
Nope.
44%.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. How are we doing here? Hold on a second here.
It's Pudge.
Yes, it's Pudge. I want to hit and run.
Okay.
You can't pitch out now.
As Hoyles goes out to talk to Messina.
Wait a minute.
Runner goes, ground ball to Palmero, and Hamilton goes to second, 2 out.
Yeah.
All right. I got Rusty up there with runner. Now, Rusty was a clutch hitter. Rusty was a great clutch hitter. In 96, Rusty would drive.
Wait, so that means he has to get a hit here? Is that what you're saying?
Rusty in 96 would have delivered this base hit.
All right. Well, let's see what he does here against one of the greatest Orioles pitchers of all time.
A tiring Mike Messina delivers.
Base hit
in the left field. A bad play by Todd Zeal. Hamilton around third. He scores, and we're tied up.
Zeal, man.
What is that? Is that 55 or 95%?
95.
I'm
Hold
stealing.
on. Let me make it true. Okay, I'm going to pick off.
Here's 97.
Now I'm going to. I know what I'm going to do now. Are you going?
Oh, yeah, 97. I'm going.
I'm pitching out.
I'll take my chance.
Runner goes.
Oh, he's in
there.
So, Dave, if you pick off 3 times, that number 4, you got a great chance of throwing it away, right?
It's more than incrementally larger with each one. It's exponentially larger. Yeah.
Right.
When I play by myself, I will not pick off more than 3 times. No matter what, it's after 3 times I go ahead and
and that's maybe not realistic, but for playability, you need something like that. Otherwise, guys playing online games could just sit there. I mean, pre the current rules. I mean, in 1996,
right.
Pick off, and
well, I have my own,
and they did.
I have my own little rules to make it realistic, to kind of go with the fact that I'm not playing.
We got Greer on second, 2 away. Messina, pitching coach, comes out, but he's going to stay in the ball game.
Ray Miller comes out.
Ray Gonzalez.
You can't
fly
Left
ball.
center, back goes Anderson, makes the catch. Rangers tie this puppy up after 7.5, 2-2.
All right, wait a minute. Russell's going to be close here. How many?
He's only throwing 6 pitches.
Okay, well, he's only got 20, right?
Right.
All right, and then what do we got here? We got
bottom of the order.
We got left-handers, so he can get these 3 righties. I'll be happy with them, and I've never been happy with Jeff Russell. So go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Ground ball to the mound, over to Clark, 1 out.
Jeff Russell once gave up a 3-run home run to Jose Canseco that made me miss my flight back to Texas on my birthday. I didn't get home till 2:30 in the morning.
Tell us how you really feel.
Right.
That sounds personal. Did you put that in an article?
What?
You put that in an article, a headline?
If I'd had a blog back then, Dave, I would have put it in there. If I had Twitter back then there, I'd have let him know.
That's funny. Let's see here. What do we got? Anything? Pete Incaviglia
Oh, Inky Villiers on this team.
for 33 at bats. Like I'm trying to be realistic because obviously this roster is way bigger than a 25-man roster.
Are we using it like we don't have a 25-man roster?
Well, I have it set for an exhibition game, so this would be
So you got
everybody,
you
Dave,
got
right?
everybody.
Yeah. So I'm trying not to use guys that probably wouldn't have been in there. Let's go with Luis Polonia.
Polonia.
Wow.
Oh my God.
All right, lefty. So now you got a lefty up there.
He's a 500 hitter against righties, but that's not gonna be Dave. That's not gonna.
It gets smoothed out.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Bring it on.
To McLemore, and that will do. We go to the 9th in a 2-2 tie.
I have a question for TR. If you're in touch with current writers that work under the new extra inning rules, do they like it or hate it? I'm guessing based on your comment about missing flights.
That's a great question.
Missing flights probably are mixed on it.
It's mixed. Look, the best thing, and everybody gets tired of me yelling and screaming, but the best thing that they did was speed up this game because it was killing me, Dave. I mean, it was literally killing me. I mean, like one time we had a day-night doubleheader, and I left my house at 9 o'clock, and I didn't get home till 2 a.m. It was the long games were just killing us.
I watched Ryan Braun bat thousands of times, and he adjusted his gloves every single pitch, regardless of what happened. And that, I mean, that's a turnoff for me. The first major league games I went to were 2 hour and 1 minute and 2 hour and 3 minutes. I can't imagine kids standing there watching Ryan Braun adjust his gloves. You know, he's a great player, but
the pitch clock. To me, the pitch clock is great. The ghost runner sucks.
I don't. Yeah, the ghost runner.
That's like something you would do like in the street, you know.
Yeah.
Because the lights were going to come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one of the best games I ever saw was at Comerica Park, which was a pitcher's park, and they had a 14-inning game, and it was a fantastic game. It moved just like that, and a lot of action, a lot of strategy. It was a fantastic game, and it moved quickly. And in Comerica Park, I love Comerica Park because the games at Comerica Park would just move briskly and everything. Just the games, you know. Gone with the Wind, it was 3 hours and 40 minutes. Okay, Gone with the Wind was. Do you want to watch Gone with the Wind every damn night? No. I mean, nobody wants to watch a movie.
Twice with the Twilight doubleheader.
Yeah, I mean, movies.
You remember they used to have Twilight doubleheaders?
Yes.
Oh yeah. You get 2 games.
Oh
in.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to watch a three and a half hour movie. Most movies, if it's a comedy, it's 2 hours. If it's a drama, it's 2:30. Nobody wants to watch a 3.5 hour movie. And nobody wants to watch a 3.5 hour game night after night after night. I would sit there just begging for the game to get over in 3 hours. I mean, I was begging for a 3 hour game.
Right.
So you know.
Okay, while TR tells everybody to get off his lawn, we're going to play the 9th inning of this baseball game.
All right.
Will Clark 1 for 3, a double. Mussina going for the CG. Walked him.
That's going to be it. That's going to be it. Sorry, Mike, you're gone. I got 25 pitchers.
Will's my who do I got on the bench? I got Damon Buford on the bench. Who do I got to play first base on the bench?
Hold on, I'm picking a pitcher here. Hold on. I'm gonna go with. See, it wouldn't be fair to use Benitez because he only pitched 14 innings that year, and that just wouldn't be right. They didn't have a very good bullpen, actually. I thought they had a better.
No,
wouldn't be fair to bring Eddie Watt in either, would it?
No, it really wouldn't. It really wouldn't.
Mark put the roster together. You never know who's going to show up, right?
Right. Stu Miller could come in, right?
Yeah.
As soon as he collects himself off the mound at Candlestick.
Wow, they really had a terrible bullpen.
You know, the Mussina at 119 where it's estimated 120, that doesn't mean he's tired or close. He probably is. But
no, I know. I usually do it. I mean, my thing is if I I'll give a guy a chance, but if he puts a guy on, I usually go to the in this.
He's pitched a jam. I could see it.
But looking at this relief staff, I may have to wait because this is not going to get good.
Oh.
I guess I could go with a Roscoe maybe. But who's up? A righty for you, right?
It's righty switchy.
Right.
You got Roscoe and McDowell.
Roger McDowell's terrible. His ERA is 155.
Speaking of pace of play, I wonder
his whip is 155.
I wonder if you'd have all the umpires out there telling you to.
Yes, right now, definitely.
All night,
yes.
right?
All right, I'm gonna go with Messina. All right, here we go. Dean Palmer.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm gonna piss off Will Clark. Put Damon Buford in to run.
Whoa.
Also an Oriole.
And
along with Don Buford.
We're in the 9th inning, right?
Yes. We are in the top
Yeah,
of the 9th.
I want Damon Buford in there.
All right, Buford has a 65% chance to steal. There's nobody out. Man on first. Dean Palmer steps up. I have made my choice. Are you stealing?
No, I'm not stealing at 65.
All right, I'm not going after. All right, here we go.
Here's the pitch. Fly ball left field. Back goes Polonia.
Oh no! No!
I take back my Vince Lombardi comment.
Oh,
Dean Palmer has
you
made
made me leave Messina in, man.
Yeah.
All
Tiaro's
right. All right. Now can I pull him?
You can do whatever you want.
I should have done it before. All right, here we go. We'll go with Arthur Rhodes.
Oh, Arthur Rhodes.
Country roads.
He's from Texas.
Arthur, 408, 9-1 with the save. Here, Tettleton, 0 for 3.
Ground ball to short.
Cal for the out. 1 away.
McLemore is up. Here's the pitch.
0 for 2.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 away for Elster.
0 for 3. Ground ball to Ripken. But as Johnny Mathis used to sing, too much, too little, too late. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 4-2 Texas.
I would have brought Rhodes in one batter sooner.
All right, now,
Dave.
all right. Tell me between
Mark is never buying any of your product ever again, Dave. But
of course I will.
Between Vosberg and Stanton, tell me their left-handed splits.
You need a first baseman too.
I'll get Lee Stevens is my first baseman.
Oh, God! Fantasy flashbacks from that one.
Lee Stevens went to arbitration with the Rangers after the '99 season. He is the last Ranger to ever go to arbitration.
Really?
So every year in January, when we talk about the Rangers arbitration cases, we always have to bring out the fact that Lee Stevens was the last guy to go to arbitration. Every year in January, you get the annual Lee Stevens reference.
All right, I will let you use Stanton because I'm that kind of person. But I just want you to know he pitched 22 innings that year.
Well, he was a July 31st trade deadline guy.
Oh.
All right. Is Stanton the better guy than Vosberg?
By a trillion.
All right, go Stanton.
All right.
All right. The Ungers need 2 to tie and 3 to win. Brady Anderson 1 for 4. Stanton didn't have a save. And he not a good start. Dumped in front of Gonzalez, and the tying run is on for Robbie Alomar.
All right, here we go. You're going to pitch, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to hit and run.
Ooh, it was a 6. Runner goes, ground ball to Stevens, flips it to Stanton, 1 out. Anderson.
Palmero, I need you. All right.
Struck him out.
Rafi.
1-2. He chased it for Bobby Bowe. 1 for 2.
All right, Bobby Bowe.
Grab a Chesterfield. Pretend you're Earl Weaver.
All right, Bobby Bowe. I'm going to hold on one second. Where's Stanton here? Stanton. Okay. We're going with Stanton.
All right. Got him.
Struck him out. And that's it. The Rangers, 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors. They leave on 5. The Orioles, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors, but they left on 11.
Dean Palmer 2 for 4 with that 2-run homer. The difference here, as Messina suffers the loss, time of the game 3 hours and 10 minutes. There was a light rain that fell throughout most of the game. 89 degrees.
Yeah, hot night in
And
Baltimore.
that
Oh,
is,
Wait a minute. I got to know. I always have to
Sure.
know who's the MVP.
I didn't do it. Only reason I didn't look is because it's got to be Palmer, right?
It's got to be on the box score, right, Dave?
The box goes up, yeah.
Actually, there's no MVP listed.
Not in
I know why. Exhibition. That's why.
Exhibition.
Exhibition.
Oh man,
But
that's my favorite thing to see I always look and see who the MVP is of the game.
All right, well, I'll figure it out for you.
Well, it would be Dean Palmer, right? I mean, the guy hit the game-winning home run. And was
Yeah,
hitting for 4.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, must
Yeah.
be. It'd have to be, yeah.
Yeah.
all right, that was fun.
That was great.
That was a
You should
good
get
game.
Kirkshin
It was
back
a
on
real-
and have these two play. It's always
that?
fun to. You should get Kirkshin back on to play
Yeah, we should.
because that's always so fascinating to hear the thought processes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
let me say just one thing. Can I say one thing?
Sure, whatever you want.
Dave, your games have given me great fun over the years for the past 20-something years. I have great admiration for you. I love the games. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you've always been responsive when we've talked on by email and stuff. And I just have nothing but the highest admiration for your games. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
I appreciate the kind words, and I do know we never met in person, guys. We were going to at Miller Park maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, at one point.
I had a shirt packed, and we had an illness in the family, so I owe you a shirt and a beer. So
Well, I always take
make it happen.
I'd love to sit and talk to you about your game.
Hey, do you
for
want the
hours
three
on
of us? Do you want the three of us to leave and you guys can have some?
We
quiet
would
time?
be here all night because I got so many questions for him. Besides Stanford, I still have a lot of questions.
That's
for
not a
him.
question. That's a complaint. That's a complaint.
But I mean, it just
Send that to John at pksports.com.
These games are phenomenal, and one of the things I like, and I'll just point this out. When I'm playing this game, every once in a while there'll be something that pops up that a play-by-play or a comment or something that's just totally out of the blue that I've never seen before. Every once in a while I'll see something that I've never seen before. That amazes me because in other games like Diamond Mine, it's always, but every once in a while it's just so much
baseball,
fun.
That's what's so cool about the sport of baseball is there's something odd almost every game. So it's always a challenge to put new things in, and people send us things. I think Ron doesn't like rare plays, though, right, Ron?
He doesn't.
Not in a board game. In your game,
Oh,
it's
okay,
fun.
okay.
In your
Yeah, in a
it's
board
fun
game, I remember that. I don't play board games anymore, but I remember you roll something, and then you got to go to the rare play chart. So you've already lost the suspense.
You've already lost the suspense, and then it's a foul ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing is, though, so when I think of Action PC, I barely ever look at the play-by-play unless I have to because I'm trying to figure out what I saw.
Yeah, you're looking for quick results.
Diamond Mines. Well, it's not just that. Diamond Mines always been known because there is no visuals that their play-by-play is really good. With Action PC, are you guys getting more and more into the play-by-play as the years go on? Is that something you pay a lot of attention to?
There was a big jump maybe 10 years ago. We tried to. Obviously, we do a little bit more with the the chalkboard type stuff now.
Right.
Trying to get that as a quick visual because, I didn't hardly look at the play-by-play tonight. It's pretty small on the screen. I'm looking at with you guys all on there too. But so we try to get the best of both in there. But
I've never been disappointed with anything about the baseball game. Never. Everything's been realistic for the most part.
Yeah.
You got little quirks and nuances, and it just holds up so well. It just makes it fun because I'll get guys from previous years. I'll bring Dick Radatz from the '63 Red Sox and put him on, on a team because I always have to have a great bullpen. But this game holds up. Has never ever disappointed me on the baseball side.
You say you switch guys, put them on different teams in different years. There's a lot of guys that will make their old high school teams. Then it's like, hey, here's my buddy Joe. He's playing shortstop.
Sure.
And stats for him. I know of a guy in the state of Washington that does all his local college football teams from the 50s. There's a lot of cool stuff like that we hear about. And I've mentioned that on these podcasts before. It's because you can do all that stuff, and it's not just reliving your memories of major league players. You can do your little league friends. My kids used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My kids are older. They have kids. They don't have time for that, but someday.
I think in a lot of ways, and we always talk about, not just us, but everybody in the hobby talks about sort of the fact that the young people aren't experiencing this stuff the way we did, and that the hobby's dying out, which I happen not to agree with, but it is out there. I think Action PC is a great starter game for, a kid 12, 13, 14 years old who loves baseball, because it does have the visuals, and then if they decide, because they like it so much, that they do want to try the cards and dice versions of various games, that makes sense to me. But Action PC is so dynamic for what it does. I love Action PC.
I told these guys, Dave, I don't think you're on board, but I don't know if you knew this, but I replaced Vince Lombardi as head coach of the Packers. So I coached the Packers from 1968 to 1973. And what I would do, I'd use the team that you give me, but every year I would draft one defensive player, and it would be a guy off the All-American list who didn't make it in the NFL. It was a total bust. Like a guy named Mike Cat Ballou, who was from UCLA.
Yeah, you mentioned that right when I got on. You mentioned that.
You did.
I didn't know you went to 73. So
Yeah,
you did the Dan Devine years too.
Yeah, but I would add it to, so by the time 73, I had this awesome defense and I won 2 Super Bowls. And then I said, well, I'm retiring from the Packers. But
Retired. You didn't need to make a John Hadle trade. You just retired. Yeah.
I do that. I will literally, in football and baseball, I will take up a team. Like I did it for the Seattle Pilots. I took on the team, and of course I'm very creative in putting together my team. But by 1972 or 73, the Seattle Pilots were world champions of baseball. but I just love taking a team and just kind of picking and choosing, like a Dick Radaz from 63, or adding this guy, or and just putting together my team, and I'll do it for about 4 or 5 years until the team gets great. And
so you'd always take your laptop on the road and play games when you had free time, and
all the time on vacation and spring training. I mean, during postseason when you have a lot of downtime, because I just love it. And there would be guys that ask me, what is this game you're playing? And I tell them, I'd say it's Dave Cook's, and I'd show them the website and everything like that. And some of those guys, I assume I know some of them, I think, bought the game.
I know I was testing my memory with Mark about a month ago, and I came up with, off the top of my head, about a half a dozen current writers.
Yeah, you mentioned a few. I remember. Yeah,
but I don't look at the customer. I don't look at the lists all the time or the orders. But it's always fun, and a lot of times they'll email about some things. So I get some personal things in there.
So any news on the golf game, Dave?
Well, there's a couple of, I mean, some of the younger writers are too. So it's hard to know. I don't want to mention their names because if they don't make it public, I don't think they need to endorse a product.
I remember one time we were in the press room in spring training, and Jeff Bannister was late. So he walks in there and he looks at all our computers, and he goes to each writer and says, all right, you're playing Pac-Man, and you're playing Angry Birds, you're playing this, and he's like, what are you playing? And I'm saying, oh, it's the 1967 Red Sox Cardinals World Series. He goes, what is that? I said, it's my baseball game that I play all the time. And he's like, look, I said, wow, that's cool.
All right, I should check.
So we should wrap things up, but I do want to know any news on the golf on the golf game, Dave?
The devil's in the details on that. And it's been 5 years since the upgrade. I know there's probably going to be a few people that watch this that are play testing it right now.
Oh, cool.
And it's fantastic, but his time is more limited than when he was full time with us. So that's the best way to say is the devil's in the details. It's fantastic. He set it up. There's a completely new course design, but all the courses that you either bought or got on the third party or community sites automatically convert, so that you don't need to buy anything new like that.
Wow.
It's a pretty turnkey package with a lot of really cool. I'll leave it at that. A lot of really cool stuff in it.
That's great.
Was the soccer thing a joke, or are you actually working on it?
5 and 7 year old soccer?
Yes.
I don't learn a lot at 5 and 7 year old soccer. No, there's nothing imminent. No.
Okay.
Hey, Dave,
5 and 7 year old soccer's.
If you ever need to, you can tell anybody you want that I play this game. If anybody says, well, do you know anybody, writers or anybody who plays this game, you can always bring up my name. I don't
do
mind.
that. I'll do that. Well, I did that in that email blast when you told me about your book coming out. So.
Oh, in fact, let's remind our viewers, the book is The Texas Rangers and Me, A Baseball Writer's 32 Years in Arlington. It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes & Noble. And you should absolutely 1,000% buy this book
And my
immediately.
brief synopsis, I started saying it. I had my wife, TR emailed me about something, and I asked if he's doing any writing in his retirement. And he said, well, my memoirs come out next week. I was working at home, and my wife was working on something in the other room, and I told her. She had a book order ready to go, so she added it to it. So I got it like the first Thursday it came out. And I don't know if I related this to TR. I got the book on a Thursday the night before we had to leave town for a family wedding. But I opened it and I saw, oh, it's pretty cool layout. I loved the Baseball 100 when they came out because you can read one story at a time or flip it open. Same thing. I thought, I'm just going to read. I can't take it on the wedding because I'm just going to look bad on the dance floor with the book. But they'll be like, oh, that's Dave. I get it. But I read the first 2 chapters and I thought, well, I'm going to read when I get back. I'm going to do a chapter or 2 a night. Well, it ended up being like a few night thing. And it's each chapter is independent. And there's 30 some chapters. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And each chapter is either a player or a manager or an episode or an event. So since I read that within a couple of days, and since then I pulled out it a few times, the same thing as the Baseball 100. It's like, yeah, I got to read about the Rodriguez signing again, or what was that Bush told you about the Canseco trade when that was completed? Little things like that.
He puts fannies in the seats.
Yeah, that's what it was. But so you keep referencing back to that, and I had to read the Josh Hamilton thing too because that seems like it's so long ago now, and it's such a. TR's also got in a lot of the chapters little personal things like he shared tonight. Just, nothing bashing anybody. It's all, it's a good baseball read, and it's not heavy baseball stats, but I'm sure most people watching this get enough baseball stats from their hobby. So they don't need it from their reading, but I love it. And I passed it on to a guy at work and he's got it at home right now. So, well, I know that cost you a sale, but didn't know if he was going to go out.
Well, I'm making it up for it because
that's basically no different than me giving Ron one of my Action PC seasons, but that's all right.
Well, my wife,
as long as the guy that owns the copyright never hears about it.
my wife's friends are buying the book. I said, you don't like baseball and you don't know anything about the Texas Rangers. Well, you wrote the book. I said, well, that's great, but you're not going to understand it. Oh, we're going to buy the book. So if you give it away, then we're even.
Oh, see,
well,
now
that's actually
I told my wife all the way through the book. I told my wife, I don't know Tom Hardrecourt, but he was a brewer.
Oh, now I know. Hold on. Now I know what Mike. Hold on. Mike Silva said Mark is on the pay no mind list now. Now I know what he means. I'm being ignored. I'm trying to ask questions. TR, you brought this up. Texas Rangers, for people who don't really know the Texas Rangers, haven't really followed the Texas Rangers, what's sort of the universality, whatever that word is, of the stories that you tell? If you're somebody who, isn't.
You can do this for all 30 teams. Just the crazy things that have happened, the amazing players, the great players, the strange players, what they did during the steroids, their great years. And, every franchise. And this is why one of the reasons I wrote the book was when I retired and I had nothing to do, I worked for like 3 weeks, believe it, 3 or 4 weeks at Barnes and Noble. I thought it'd be cool to work in a bookstore. No, it's not. It's not. So, but you look at the Barnes and Noble and all Yankee books. You go there and you see Jim Bouton's book and Derek Jeter and C.C. Sabathia's book and all these Yankee books. They said, we don't have our Texas Rangers book at a Barnes and Noble here in Texas.
Yeah.
So
and a good story is a good story.
A good story is a good story, exactly. And we got all these Yankees books and Red Sox books and Cubs books. I would read a Brewers book because Doug Melvin is one of my dearest friends in the game. I love Doug Melvin. I don't know if you ever met him, Dave.
No, I did not.
But Doug Melvin's a phenomenal human being. But every franchise has great stories. You just can't get away from it. I don't care if it's the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays would be an incredibly amusing story with all the garbage they went through with Ray Namoli as their owner. That right there is a book. And
you bring up the Rays. To me, they're one of the most amazing stories in sports.
Kevin
every
Cash.
year, it's this is they're not going to do well. They're not going to do well, and this was one of those years. And yet there they are, first place again.
Did you say the Rays or did you say the Brewers? I didn't catch that.
Me,
The
I said the
Brewers,
Rays.
both the Brewers and
Okay.
the Rays. Every team has a great story. Every team has a phenomenal
They
story.
are the Montreal Expos of the 21st century.
Yeah.
How they develop all that talent out of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what it was with my book about the Rangers is just how this franchise got to be where they are today, and who got them there, and who didn't get them there, and what went right, what went wrong, and just very simple, straightforward baseball tour through my 32 years.
Yeah, it's fun. There's, like I said earlier, you got the personalities of the general managers during those years, of the owners or ownership groups. So it's fun. It's a fun baseball read.
Thank you.
TR, my last question is, what did it mean to you when they finally won the World Series?
You know, I was retired then, and
Coincidence?
I'm not the guy who's going to give you the great quote about that. Like, there were tears in my eyes or anything like that. There's a lot of guys that I covered who I wanted to do well, and I thought about them. I thought about a lot of guys, how close they came in 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And by the time they won the World Series, they're all gone. I mean, I only knew like 2 or 3 players on that team, a few coaches. John Daniels wasn't even around anymore. I'd met Bruce Bochy a couple times, and it was almost like I was disengaged from it all. I mean, it was all, really. Sometimes I joke I should have. I did 1 year in the new ballpark, and it's almost like I should have retired after when they left the old ballpark, the ballpark in Arlington. I was so disengaged that it was really hard for me. I was happy for them. There's a lot of people, employees still working there. They were happy, and a lot of fans and a lot of people. The funny thing was, I'll tell you, the funny thing was when they won the World Series, people say, I can die happy. I'll never complain again. My life is complete.
Right.
This is the greatest thing. Next year, in June, they're out of the pennant race. Everybody's going, rah, 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 fire Bruce Bochy, fire this guy, trade this guy. I'm like, what happened to being happy for the rest of your life?
That's sports. That's the way it is. Well, hey guys, time for us to wrap up. Dave Cook, I want to thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I want to thank you for introducing us to TR, of course. And TR, you were great. We'd love to have you on again sometime if you'd like to do it.
Fun. Thank you.
I had a blast.
Play some more head to head. Head to head is fun. We all play action pieces. A lot of us play a lot of it on our own, but it's always fun to play with somebody else. I mean, that 2-run homer stings. It stings. I blame it on Dave Cook, but that's besides the point.
I thought I was going to have to use Mike Henneman, and fortunately I avoided it, so I'm happy. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
All right, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, did I do something stupid? Mildly stupid? Majorly stupid? Let's do less stupid things. Hold on. There's less stupid. That's less stupid. That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great time. I want to thank all of you for joining us. I hope you liked the footage that we showed you at the top of the show. I'll be continuing, the editing of all this as we move forward. Please, if you could, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, we would love for you to do that. It's easy to do. You can also ring the bell so you'll get notifications. Please like this video, comment if you'd like to. Also, don't forget about our podcast, which is sort of the companion to this live stream. You can find that wherever you listen to your podcast. And that podcast, our podcast actually has some bonus content that is only available on the podcast. Also, box scores from the basement, our website, boxscorefilm.com. Sign up for the pre-launch list. Now you've had a chance to actually, hopefully, and you feel this way, to see what's possible with the documentary and how good something like this can look and how good it can sound and how dynamic it can be. And what I showed you guys was just a tiny, tiny bit. There's so many things that didn't have music. It didn't have, it had some B-roll stuff, but no like really cool graphics or all the things that I plan to include in the documentary. So go to boxscorefilm.com, hit the pre-launch list, and give us your email address, and you will be eligible for pre-launch list perks that will be available when we start launching our funding campaign. You guys have anything to add?
That was fun. That was
a lot of fun.
It was fun.
And yeah, TL was a great guess.
The Orioles won tonight, and the Red Sox
They
lost
did?
again. Yes, and the Red Sox lost.
So that's
Four
that's
in a
2 in a
row
row
now.
now because the Orioles beat the hell out of the Twins yesterday, didn't they? No, they didn't. Dean
No, they didn't.
Kramer shut them down.
Yes.
Their former pitcher clearly
Red
knew
Sox
knew
have
what
now
to
lost.
throw. Yeah, what to
The
throw.
Red Sox have now lost 4 in a row.
They're what I think it's I think the Yanks are what 5.5 games back of Tampa.
Yeah.
And the Red Sox are about 7 or 8. Yeah,
7.5, 8 now. Yeah.
Well, take care, folks, and we will see you again very soon. Certainly next Tuesday, that's for sure. Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Right.